I am going to call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. This is the regular Cromwell Town Council meeting, Wednesday, April 8th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Welcome, everyone. I'm so pleased to see a full house. We don't always get this pleasure, so it's great to see you all. So we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So I ask if you're able to stand, please stand. And Jamin, will you guide us in the pledge?
Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we'll move to item C, which is approval of the agenda. We do have a couple of small tweaks. The discussion and possible action under item K3 for 100 Berlin Road is going to be postponed. It's not ready for presentation yet on that tax abatement. So we're going to be removing item K3, and then I'd like to ask for it to be replaced with a new K3 regarding something we tabled from a couple meetings ago of the two projects for the WIS LED gym lights and the ECS window AC replacements. So if I could have a motion to remove K3 as currently stated and to replace it with discussion and possible action on WIS LED gym lights and ECS window AC replacements.
So moved.
So made by Al. I'm going to give it to Jamin as a second. Any further discussions on that amendment? Hearing none, all those in favor of that amendment, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Now, can I have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
One more, under R2, scratch that, R1A, Matt Blanchett, not regular member, he's an alternate.
Okay. Can I have a motion to amend R1A to say alternate member instead of regular member?
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Paula. Any further discussion on that amendment? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Now I'll take a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Motion.
Motion made by Brian, second by Jamin. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries unanimously. We now will move on to item D, which is presentation of proclamation. One of the things that we've done here at the Town Council is to recognize employees who have longstanding dedication to the town when they retire. And so tonight it is our pleasure to thank and present to Mr. Mike Conant his recognition and a proclamation for his 35 years of outstanding service to the town. So Mike, if you want to come on up to the podium for a little love and care up here from all of us. I know it's a little embarrassing. Come on up. So Mike, on behalf of the Cromwell Town Council and the town of Cromwell, I have a proclamation to present to you, and then I'd like to invite the councilors to give some parting words and thanks for all of your years of service to the town. So let me read the proclamation, and then we'll start some festivities here. So whereas Mike has dedicated more than 35 years of exemplary service to the town of Cromwell, demonstrating unwavering commitment, professionalism, and pride in his work, whereas Mike began his career with the town as a truck driver and through his hard work and dedication was promoted to equipment operator, then to crew leader, and ultimately Parks and Grounds supervisor. Throughout his tenure, Mike has consistently gone above and beyond in the service to the community, always making himself available to respond to after-hours emergencies, including microbursts, tropical storms, flooding, snowstorms, and blizzard conditions. Whereas Mike has played a vital role of enhancing the town's recreational spaces, including his significant contributions to the construction of Frisbee Park, the Cromwell Dog Park, and major field renovations enjoyed by residents and visitors alike. Now, therefore, I, James Demetriadis, Mayor of the town of Cromwell, recognize and honor Mike Conant for his outstanding 35 years of service and extend our deepest gratitude and best wishes for continued health, happiness, and success in all of his future endeavors, dated this 8th day of April, 2026.
Oh, 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 oh.
You are welcome to as well. So first from the council, any comments for Mike? Mr. Wattersley?
Mike, known you a long time. When you lived, in Cromwell, remember teaming up, we went to Stafford Motor Speedway quite a few weeks with Rusty Brainerd. Quite a few times, you gave me the double, HE double Ls for when I was plowing snow. You dummy, put your headlights on, which I forgot all about it. And Mike says it the way it is. He doesn't beat around the bush. I understand, I always understood where Mike was coming from. He had his heart in the town of Cromwell. Some people said, Jesus, Mike is always complaining. Well, that's Mike. But everything, but everything about Mike though is he's speaking from the heart when he's complaining. He's not pulling any punches. He just says it the way it is. And a lot of people, maybe they don't like it, but I always thought he was pretty level-headed. And anything he had to tell me as far as personally, I know his dad, his late mom, the whole bit. And honestly, Mike, I really want to thank you for all your services and a lot of those plowing nights without my headlights on. You're welcome, Mike.
Mike, I just want to thank you for all those meetings you attended, all the discussions we had about the field conditions, regardless of where they were in town, how to make things better. You've always tried to come up with a strategy, a plan, listening to other people in ways that we could make things better and maybe make it simpler and better at the same time, because you and I talked about that a lot. And I really appreciated all that, and I'm going to miss you from the meetings and from the discussions. So I appreciate everything you did. Thanks, Mike.
Well, my friend, your knowledge and your experience are going to be sadly missed. But I'm happy for you to see you turn the page and retire and enjoy your life. And I hope to see you more now than I did when you worked. All right, buddy.
Mr. Salvador?
Yeah, I'd just like to say congratulations, Mike. It's well deserved. I've known you your entire career here. And one thing I can always say is I could always count on you. Sometimes short notice, but you're going to be duly missed. Your institutional knowledge is second to none, and I'm going to miss you myself. So good luck, and if there's ever anything I can do for you, don't hesitate.
Any other comments?
I guess I'll be brief because I don't want to recapitulate what everyone else has said, but it's just a hearty seconded. I mean, everything people have said I've seen firsthand. You're dedicated, you speak your mind, your heart's in the right place, and you do a great job, and the town's is losing a great asset. So I just, really wanted to say thank you very much, and of course, you'll be missed.
And Mike, before I turn it over to you to give any remarks, and again, any of your family are welcome to give remarks too. I want to thank you for all of the time and the energy that you devoted to the town, not just what's in the proclamation, but the countless hours and the amount of heart that it takes to be able to run an operation like what you ran. A town is a village, and it takes a village to cultivate it and to grow it, and it takes somebody who really cares about it to make it flourish. And that's what you are, and that's what you exemplify. Somebody who really cares not only about the work that they do, but has the vision for where you want to go with it. 35 years is a heck of a long time to stick around at any one place. And I'll tell you, if you move back to the town of Cromwell and you want to be on the Recreation Committee, we will make sure to have an honorary spot held open for you. Your insight is invaluable, and I'm sure whoever takes your spot after you will be calling you, trying to get your wisdom and advice, because you truly have left your mark on this community that generations of children and families will be able to enjoy because of you. So thank you so much for all of your work. And does any of Mike's family want to say anything before we move on to our next agenda item? Is everyone good? Thank you for sharing them with us. We appreciate it. Congratulations, Mike. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Mike.
Alrighty, so now we are moving to item E, which is our presentation of our EDC awards. I'll invite up to the dais Steve Fortenbach, chairman of the EDC, and Stuart Popper, the economic development coordinator, to present these two EDC awards. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with this program, we started this program about a year and a half ago now. In each quarter, we try to recognize businesses in the town of Cromwell for landmark achievements, their consistency of commitment to community, and or the exemplary business that they run, as an effort to tell businesses that we not only appreciate them when they choose to move to town, but we want to celebrate their achievements while they are in town. So we have two outstanding businesses today, so I will turn it over to our EDC and our chairman.
It's happened. Oh, there we go. So we're going to hand out I'm Steve Fortenbach. I'm the chairman of the Economic Development Committee. On behalf of the Economic Development Committee, thank you for being here. We're going to hand out two awards today. One for Cromwell Concrete, who are celebrating 100 years of business in Cromwell. And also we're going to be recognizing Willowbrook Spirit Shop for 50 years of business in Cromwell. I kept saying in my head, I'm like, what did I want to say? And I always went back to, these are like cornerstones of no pun intended for Cromwell Concrete, but they're cornerstones of the town that have been here for 100 years, 50 years. And if you said to someone coming to town, I live just past Cromwell Concrete, well, everybody would know where they are. Or they said, I live just past Willowbrook Spirit Shop, and they would say, oh yeah, I know exactly where you are, because they've just been here forever. And they keep producing, and they keep bringing customers back to our town, and that's what economic development is about growing and cultivating, take a term from our mayor, the community. And these two businesses do it hands down, one for 100 years, which is absolutely insane in today's business climate for 100 years, and that's amazing. And 50 years to Willowbrook Spirit Shop, it's just amazing. So congratulations, guys. Thank you so much. Please, do you want to do them one at a time?
Yeah, I think let's do them one at a time, and then so you once you're done, I'll do my proclamation, then we'll present them together.
Perfect. So we'll start with Cromwell Concrete. So on behalf of the Cromwell Concrete, you guys want to come on up, please? Jay, is there a better spot for us to be in? Oh, it's staring right at us. All right, perfect. All right, so on behalf of the Economic Development Commission, we proudly recognize Cromwell Concrete celebrating 100 years in honor of 100 years of excellence, community service, and outstanding local business leadership, presented on April 8th, 2026, on behalf of myself, Steve Fortenbach, Economic Development Commission Chair, and our Mayor for the town of Cromwell, James Demetriadis. Congratulations.
I also have a proclamation to present to you. But first, let me just comment on a century, right? A century ago, if we think about what was happening 100 years ago when your company was founded, The Great Gatsby had just been published. The Monkey Scopes trial was happening about evolution being taught in schools. Calvin Coolidge was president, and the average house in the United States cost $6,000. So, a lot of things have changed in 100 years, but Cromwell Concrete is still here and waving that banner. So when you think about what a landmark 100 years is, that's what it means to be a cornerstone of the community. So I have a proclamation to add to your plaque. Cromwell Concrete Products was founded in the town of Cromwell 100 years ago, taking root in this community with a commitment to quality craftsmanship and enduring construction materials. 100 consecutive years, you've provided employment, economic vitality, and essential building materials that have shaped homes, roads, infrastructures for the town and the surrounding region. The owners, the employees, the families have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the town, exemplifying the spirit of hard work, community stewardship, and local pride across generations. And a continuous operation stands as a remarkable testament of resilience, innovation, and a deep bond between a business and the community it serves. Now, therefore, effective today, April 8th, I present you with this proclamation recognizing your centennium celebration. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Jay's got it. Great. Yeah, with AI. Congratulations, and then here, the mic is yours.
Well, I have to say, I've been with Cromwell Concrete for 30 years. Obviously, I didn't do this on my own. 100 years is a very long time. And just to say, you know, the generations of people that worked tirelessly before I even got there to make Cromwell Concrete what it is today is amazing. I just wish my dad was here to accept this with me. Thank you.
Congratulations again.
All right, now we have one more award, and you can rip the mic out of my hands, so I'll stop talking. Again, the Economic Development Commission proudly recognizes Willowbrook Spirit Shop for celebrating 50 years of excellence, community service, and outstanding local business leadership, presented April 8th, 2020. Oh, I'm sorry. Where is Willowbrook? Come on up. I probably should have started there, huh? Yeah, Jay, you're included, huh? Well, his picture's on the front door, right? Again, I'll start. So, Economic Development Commission proudly recognizes Willowbrook Spirit Shop, celebrating 50 years of excellence, community service, and outstanding local business leadership. Presented April 8th, 2026. Myself, Steve Fortenbach, Economic Development Commission Chair, and Mayor for the town of Cromwell, James Demetriadis. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And then I'd like to add to the party. So I'll start with my historical fun facts. So 50 years ago, there was an energy crisis and a war somewhere else in the world, and a Watergate scandal. But we're far beyond that now. But the average household income was $11,000, and to purchase a house it cost between $35,000 and $40,000. So I did not look up how much a bottle of Jack Daniels was in 1976, but I'll get to that next time. So Willowbrook Spirit Shop was established in the town 50 years ago, becoming a beloved destination offering a curated selection of wine, spirit, and fine beverages to residents of the community. For 50 years, Willowbrook Spirit Shop has enriched the character of Cromwell, providing friendly, knowledgeable service, fostering a warm gathering place where neighbors and visitors alike can have a welcome. The owners of Willowbrook and their families have continuously supported the local economy, participating in community events, and demonstrating an abiding commitment to the well-being and the spirit of the town of Cromwell. For 50 years, the dedicated service to this town is a milestone worthy of recognition, reflecting the enduring relationship between a cherished local business and the community it proudly calls home. So therefore, it is my deep privilege and honor to recognize your 50 years in business of Willowbrook Spirit Shop. Congratulations. Wonderful. Congratulations. And then I'll turn the mic over to the two of you.
I'm the former owner, as everybody probably knows, of Willowbrook Spirit Shop. There's a few smiles out there. And I'm very happy that when we sold our business, that we turned it over to a fine young man like Eric and his family and his crew. And he's doing a great job down there. His technology is a little bit ahead of what we had there, but I'm very happy that Eric is there with his family and his crew.
50 years, obviously, I'm not 50 years old, so Mr. Polk owned it for 47 years. I've been there for 3. One thing when I bought the store that always resonated with me was family owned and operated. I have 2 kids under 2, so it's going to be a little bit, but it'll still be family owned and operated.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks for keeping it family run. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations again to those businesses. You make us a vital and vibrant community, so we appreciate all of our small businesses immensely. Moving along now to our Mattabassett budget presentation, which is item F in your agenda. I see Director Simone is here, and I'll invite him up to the podium alongside anybody else that he has as our guest. And you have, I believe in your packet, some information from them as well. I think their budget estimates are in there.
Yes. Good evening. Hope you could hear us okay. Art Simonian, the Executive Director at Mattabassett District, and with me is John Dunham, our Board Chairman. There should be in your package the budget notes. It's a one-pager, and I believe you should have some budget sheets behind there that have information about our budget. And we're going to just give you some highlights of our overall budget. We run on a fiscal year similar to the towns where it begins July 1st, 2026. The way our process works, and we do the same kind of presentation with the communities that we serve, Berlin, New Britain, Cromwell, and Middletown. And so what we do is we give you kind of an overview of what drives our budget. Our budget's already approved by our board. It's already been duly advertised, and it'll go in effect in July. We have 15 board members, just so you know. 3 from Cromwell sit on our board and represent the town in terms of the interests of the town as well as Mattabassett. So this year we had pretty significant increases, mostly driven by capital projects. Our operating debt budget went up about 5.6%, which is fairly reasonable, but our capital projects did increase quite significantly this year, about 93%. That's driven by some major projects. One is rehabbing. We're starting to build up funds to rehab our trunk line. We own a 9-mile trunk line from New Britain through Cromwell that runs through the meadows, and it's obviously underground, and it's a 66-inch diameter pipe that handles up to about 80 million gallons a day of flow. So we're going to start planning to do some what's called lining work. You guys have done it in your town too through your WPCA, where you line some of the old sewer pipes to help preserve them and also increase the capacity. And it's a much less evasive process than excavating and digging up the pipes. So we plan to do that. We're also putting some money in for some odor control as well, further enhancements, as well as some capital replacements of some of the equipment that we have. That's going in. Some of that's already going on now. Some of it's already going on in next year's budget and even the year afterwards. The operating part of the budget, as I mentioned, went up about 5.6%. And you guys benefit, as well as New Britain and Berlin, from Middletown joining the district in 2015. With that, there's a credit that's given on your annual assessment. This year's credit is $86,000 and accumulates each year. The credits will run out in approximately year 2030, but the total credits that are issued from Middletown joining the district is about $13 million, split up between New Britain, Berlin, and Cromwell. And that's proportional, not evenly distributed. And this year, Cromwell is paying about 6.8% of our debt service, so we have a clean water fund loan. that we took out for the project that was, the upgrade that was done in 2015. That was a $105 million upgrade. So there's, that loan runs out in 2033. And even though you're paying 7% of the debt service, your reserve capacity, which is your percentage of your flow that we reserve for you guys, is 8.6%. So you're paying less because Middletown joined the district to help offset those costs. And this year, to help with some of the budget increases, we're using $200,000 of our operating budget from fiscal year 26 and $2.2 million of reserves to offset those capital projects. So as a result, Cromwell's assessment is increasing about $22,000 for next year. It's about 2%. And even though our budget is going up about 17%, we were able to use those reserve funds and the operating expenses to keep that cost down. We do have some more details in the budget. I'm not going to go into everything. I know John will touch on some of the highlights, but those are really the main points of the budget. Some of the drivers for the higher costs, obviously the capital that I mentioned. We're spending quite a bit of money on some of the odor control equipment, plus our tanks, the big tanks we have these drives and these scrapers that have to be replaced. Those are about $500,000 each. And then the other thing is our pension cost is going up a little bit, and obviously inflation we had to absorb too as well. We did have lower debt service, so our debt is coming down each year and will be retired in about 2034. So, and with that, I'll let John speak maybe at some higher levels about what's going on in the district in case there's any other questions.
Thank you, Art. John Dunham, Chairman of the board over there. Just a little bit looking forward, as Art mentioned, in 2033, we expect to have our clean water loan paid off for the plant expansion that we did and completed back in 2015. The only problem we have is we have a discharge permit into the Connecticut River, and DEP is not renewing that for us. They're keeping our old one in existence, and they want us to continue to look at the I&I inflows into the plant and see what we can do to treat more of the water that goes out into the Connecticut River. We meet all of our requirements going in, but because at times we have to blend, they say that they cannot renew our permit until we start to conduct studies for that. So hopefully our studies show that, we don't have to do much of an expansion, but down the road, we'll have to see what happens if there'll have to be an expansion to the plant to do full treatment. But they're forcing us to do a study that'll take, it'll be years in the making, but that's just something for you to be aware of going forward. But for now, it shouldn't impact any of the costs. And I think as Art mentioned, Cromwell's increase in the budget is only 2% this year, so that we were able to keep that fairly flat because your flows are pretty consistent. So I think that's a testament to you and how your collection system has been maintained, and it's a newer system, so I think that helps out a lot. But thank you. Go ahead, Art.
And just to put the budget a little bit in perspective, we do have, should be a sheet in the back of your booklet there. The second to the last page has the, I'll have to put my glasses on for this one, but has the history of our budget for the last, since 2014. And if you look at the average increases from 2018 through 2027, our budget increased on average about 5.3%, and Cromwell's budget increased on average about 2.8% over those 8 or 9 years. So, so obviously we had a pretty healthy fund balance, for lack of a better word. We built up some of those funds as we kept some costs in check, and we're able to use that to help offset some of the larger increases that we had to absorb with inflation, those capital projects. As I mentioned, we are doing some motor control improvements. I will mention just briefly that we were here in December 2024, I believe it was, and we talked about doing some things for improvements. We did replace the centrate unit, which was a unit that was just south of our dewatering building, We did put a new unit in there, a much larger unit, and then we also did some minor repairs on some of the other equipment, and we also changed out the carbon in 3 of the vessels, the big carbon vessels. That's like a $300,000 project. We are also looking at replacing one of our chemical odor control units in the basement of the dewatering building. We have a consultant on board, and we're building up some funds for that. That's about a $1.8 million project, so that's part of our capital improvements as well. They are still functioning, but we think, you know, a replacement is probably in hands, and I think that was identified in one of the reports. So just in case anyone's wondering about those items that were brought up at that meeting and what we said we're going to do. We are also putting a lot of stuff on our website, both the projects, some of the preemptive odor walkthroughs that we do, as well as there's an online report too as well. So, but the capital projects, you'll see on there what's going on for some of these major projects. And
Excuse
with
me,
that,
Mr. Mayor.
I don't have anything else on the budget, but,
Excuse me, all right. I just want to point out, you only sent us 1 page.
okay.
So if you could send us, everything else to Amanda, we'll get it out to the council.
Okay, yep, no problem. The rest of the pages are really just the budget details, so I'll get that off to you.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? I'll start to my left. Mr. Deputy Mayor, go ahead.
Good evening, Art.
Good evening, Al.
Art. The town mayor explained that Mattabessett's in the process of seeking an air quality approval from the state. He would like the council to authorize him to write a letter to the DEP asking them to require the DEP with a timetable with their improvements as part of the conditions of making it approved. The town manager asked that the mayor include that not only they notify the state, but also notify the town on their progress. And what this was, I remember it clearly, that our town mayor asked you for a quarterly report, and you did say that you'll give a quarterly report on the air quality improvements, what you're doing, because it's supposed to have been, I'm going to say, to my knowledge, you said it's going to take about 5 years. I could be wrong. But I know the town mayor has contacted you a few times, and to my knowledge, he was directed to look on the website, and that's not what we talked about back in January 8th, 2025. We requested that you folks keep the town mayor up to date quarterly, and that has not happened. And it's it's just not good business or not good neighbors. And the other question I have to ask you, if you don't mind, I don't want to go far off the subject. It was brought to my attention, apparently there's another waste storage plant that's going to be closing down, I think, somewhere in Rhode Island, possibly. Are you going to be accepting that sludge?
So there is a plant it's a town-run plant or county, whatever they have, in Rhode Island that is scheduled to close down, I believe, in 2028. It's not run, their sludge is actually run by a contractor right now. What's going to happen with their sludge, I don't know. We don't take out-of-state sludge currently, so we just take in-state sludge, Connecticut sludge. So if sludge is coming from another facility, then it's from a Connecticut facility if it comes to ours. There's generally a problem with sludge disposal across all of New England, and it's soon to be a major problem in the United States. Most facilities are having trouble getting rid of their sludges, so where they used to land farm their sludges or use it for fertilizer, that's no longer permitted because of the PFAS concerns from the PFAS chemicals. So, not to get off topic, but that is going to put some major pressure on the industry, not just incineration, but also where these materials are going to go. Right now, some of them are going out west, some of them are going to Canada, some are coming to incinerators in Connecticut. We're not one of them that are taking out-of-state sludges, but others are doing so. And Connecticut has 5 incinerators. Massachusetts, I believe, has 2. And most of the other states either have 1 or 0 in New England. So you do the math, and what it spells is a big demand with very little supply. And obviously, the pricing for sludge is going up, for one thing, but also the concern for disposal. Now, DEP is doing something about this. They're trying to in Connecticut. They have a big survey that's going on for the facilities to see what they're doing with their sludges. But to answer your question in a roundabout way, we are not taking out-of-state sludges. We take our sludges and some of the same communities that we've been accepting for probably 15 or 20 years.
So you're not taking any more, at one
Not
time,
taking out-of-state sludges.
at one time, they were taken from Massachusetts and north at one time.
Yes, we don't do that anymore.
Okay. I would like, I'm gonna put my nickel's worth to the mayor, but I'd like to have you send the mayor all the companies that you haul into your place and from where. Either on a quarterly basis to keep us informed where it's coming from. Because unfortunately, I cannot digest the answer of we're not taking any out-of-town sludge, because it's all about money. But like you stated, it's getting expensive, and there's a lot of money involved in it, and there's a lot of capital money that Mattabassett's getting for receiving the out-of-town sludge. And I'm not happy with it, but that's my opinion, and I hope you would be so kind to give a quarterly report on the progress of the odor control, like you promised you would do, and also give the mayor a quarterly report of who's delivering the sludge and where it's coming from. Would you be so kind to do that?
We could certainly have a conversation about the type of format of something that you'd be willing to look at, and as long as the board's okay with it. I
But
don't
this
have
is
an
not
issue.
on the website. In other words, in writing, please, for a paper trail?
We could have a discussion about the format that would work best for you.
Thank you.
That's fine with
Thank
us.
Any other questions from the council? Brian, go ahead.
Regarding your permitting and the discharge and the studies, pending the outcome of the studies, you said there's possible, expansion
requirements. Where do you sit now down along the Cromwell Meadows? How much room do you have for expansion?
Well,
And what would be required?
so currently the plan is locked on one side by Route 9, the wetlands on the west side, another property as well as floodplains to the south, and to the north, essentially, more wetlands or lack of land. The issue may come down to not necessarily expanding physically, but is there a way to increase the capacity of the plant through either technology, through different products that they have now to help increase the nitrogen removal, and also possibly tank expansions, where tanks could be stacked or buried or some other way. So that type of process has been done at other plants. There's also tunnels that have been built. Some of these larger plants around this area in Hartford and New Haven had to look at tunnels for storage. So you build some storage space. It's underground. Typically, it's a couple hundred feet underground that you're building these tunnels. So we're not saying that's where this is going, but these are the kind of evaluations that have to be done when you hire a consultant to do these studies. So we're pretty far away from there, so I don't want you to think that you're gonna start seeing vertical tanks being built next week at Mattabasset. That's not the point. The point is that there is other technologies that the state wants us to look at, as well as things like that, to see if they're feasible. And feasible means, is it cost effective? Is there alternatives that are cheaper, which there may be, and it may not involve us, it may involve the other communities that we serve.
Quick question, and I know your chairman mentioned this as well. So I know we had a recent water event where there was 4 million gallons that were so that's single, like that's treated but not the full treatment, and it's pumped into the river as overflow. So 4 million gallons is a lot in my brain. But my question is there something, is there something getting into the, I'm assuming rainwater is getting into the system and is what is overflowing it. Is there a way to, on our end, to divert rainwater away from the facility so that we don't have untreated or partially treated or not fully treated sewage being pumped into the river? Like, is there something we can be doing to be preventing that situation from occurring?
So what we do is we, as you said, we partially treat. So
Yep.
we take fully treated wastewater and we mix it with the partially treated wastewater and we blend it back together before it discharges to the Connecticut River. We do meet our effluent quality requirements, and that's part of our permit. But as John said, our permit says that we're supposed to treat all our flows, not just a portion of them. As far as what could be done, I can only say that some of the other communities, the larger communities, are building tunnels to help store that rainwater, stormwater. What other communities are doing that are a little bit smaller are trying to get rid of that, what's called infiltration and inflow, which is stormwater that's getting into the sanitary system. And that could be from your catch basins in your yard. It could be from sump pumps in your yard. It could be from storm drains that were connected from the street to the sanitary illegally or with no other alternative way back when. So those are the kind of things that our communities have to look into. But because we have the permit with the state, we're feeling, the brunt of what has to be done. Obviously, we're gonna do what we can with our communities, but this is why this study's being conducted, is to look at things like that for reduction, to see if there's a more feasible alternative.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the council? I'm gonna let Ann go. Go ahead.
One quick question. I apologize if I missed this, but how long is the study supposed to last?
Well, we haven't started yet. We have to develop a scope. I could say the first phase would probably be a year to year and a half, and then if there are potentially additional phases that come out of it, that would be further down the road. But I'd say the initial phase, probably about a year to year and a half down the road.
Does DEEP set timelines for you to finish that study, or how does that work?
Well, as John indicated, we're working off our existing permit, so
Yeah.
our existing permit will still be in effect for our discharge, and we'll be having meetings with them, progress meetings about that, but certainly the scope of work may get modified, but yes, we are gonna have regular meetings, and I'm sure there'll be some kind of timeframes and milestones that are established.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here. A long time ago, when I was a school kid, I remember going on a eye-watering field trip to the Mattabasset sewage treatment plant. I was wondering, do they still do that?
Yes, we do it quite a bit. We not only do tours with high school kids, but we also do them with colleges. We do it for other plants. So it serves really a couple purposes. One, it educates people about what we do there, but two, it's exposure for us too. We're trying to get more people into this industry. We're no longer called a wastewater facility, just for everyone's knowledge. It's called the Mattabasset Clean Water Facility. That title came from EPA in 1972 with the Clean Water Fund, which was funding, we don't produce wastewater, we clean wastewater. So just like drinking water, they're producing drinking water. We're producing clean water. We're not producing wastewater, just as a side note. But as far as, we're putting out a lot of information on our website as well as our social media too about the district and the things we do. We're highlighting employees too, because it can be a very rewarding field to go into.
Awesome, thank you for doing that.
Mr. Town Manager, go ahead.
Hi, Art.
Tony?
How many municipalities still are running combined storm and sewers?
In Connecticut or that we serve?
No, within the district.
None that we serve. So Middletown was probably the last one. They separated, I believe, prior to 2015 or 16 fully. They do have some I&I issues, as well as Berlin and New Britain. Cromwell doesn't have as much, probably very minimal I&I, but the other communities still do. So we could do so much with them, and DEP could do so much with them, but obviously we're trying to come with the most cost-effective solution. But yeah, there's no more communities that we serve that are still combined.
Thank you.
Mr. Waters, go ahead.
Last question, if I may. Art, I know back a few years back, Middletown, when they first came on board, they were putting odor controls into the system, so by the time it got to Cromwell, we didn't have much of a problem, except for the decking, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, the decking, they used to call it. And I guess a lot of odor was coming from that. Apparently, you folks have no control in Middletown for sending chemicals in with their odor, do you?
We have requirements for them that they have to meet certain concentrations of hydrogen sulfide, and that's measured with meters. We're actually doing something now with some experimental stuff to test what the levels are with them adding their chemical and without it, and also with their flow and without their flow to see how much their flow is increasing the hydrogen sulfide. So we're actually doing a study with our on-call consultant that's starting up this springtime to look at that as well. So as far as telling them that they have to introduce 270 gallons per day of bioxide, no, we don't have that control, but we can tell them they have to meet certain limit numbers.
Reason I'm asking, because it seems like in the wintertime, they do not treat like they should. In the summertime, they have it, but it seems like we've been having warmer winters, so the smell has been staying around, especially the lower end of Cromwell. And we've been getting quite a bit of odors. Not as bad as it used to be, but it's still there. But I'd like to say, have Middletown start putting it more in there. Now, at the time when I complained, they started injecting that stuff in May of 21 of 2000, I think 17 or 18. They started injecting it after I complained. Otherwise, they weren't putting the chemicals in to reduce the odor. And I think you might recollect that at the time. But I wish you would at least have them up their chemicals so the Cromwell, I'm not blaming Mattabasset themselves on this. I'm blaming
That's good
more,
to hear. Thank
you
you.
hear me on that. But Middletown is probably one of the culprits that's given us all the problems.
So as we talked about with this study, that's going to help reveal what the chemical is doing and also when it's most effective too as well. And they are going to be introducing a higher level during the study to see what kind of impact that has.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Art.
All
Appreciate
right,
you.
thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll now move on to Chairman Commission reports or staff reports. So you have in your packet some staff reports from various departments. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a Parkinson's awareness event here, I think co-hosted with Hartford Healthcare and the Senior Center. And there are some other reports in there as well. But do we have any liaison or commission reports? So any of the, Matt, do you have any updates for the Board of Ed?
We good?
We're good.
Just a couple. The first thing is, just an FYI, in 1976, a standard size bottle of Jack Daniels cost between $5 and $8.
5 and 10?
5 and 8.
Oh, wow, good.
I looked it up really quick.
Thank you.
How many bottles do you have left?
I'm sad to say they don't last very long in my house.
What do we consider standard size?
750 milliliter.
Thank you.
You're the expert. I'm just confirming.
Do you want to repeat that for Chris? He just walked in late, so I think he'd appreciate that fact.
The debate was, what's a standard size of liquor? What's a standard size of a liquor bottle? It came up earlier in discussion about Willowbrook.
25 ounce. There's 33 ounces a liter. 50 is 25 ounce.
Okay.
175 is John, what do they call it, handle?
John, what do they call it?
This is actually for a 750 milliliter.
Okay.
That's what I
Understood.
looked up.
Thank you.
So the last time I came before you guys, we had not approved a budget for the Board of Ed. We were stuck on benefits. We were kind of muddling our way through that. I get to say, with the hard work of our administration and our Board of Ed members, that has been resolved. A budget was presented to the Board of Finance, and they actually approved the full budget. Now, what happened was we changed our medical plans. We went from a Cigna HSA and moved to the partnership plan in the state with a number of other districts that participate. The difference was between, I believe it was a 33 or 34% increase, and it wound up being a 23% increase. But we did have to get all 7 unions on board to do that because there was a contractual issue. We can't switch the plan without them agreeing. They did. We absolutely appreciate the unions and all of our employees' work on that and agreement to that. And to be honest with you, as a board, we are very confident that it benefits both sides of that coin. So we are moving to the partnership plan, and that's going to alleviate that. The budget that was presented to the Board of Finance was a 4.46% increase, which is lower than many of the other districts in our DIRG, higher than a couple. But it was almost entirely related to benefits and salaries, so which is usually the case. That actually comprises about 75% of our overall budget. So we took care of all that, which is great. With the snow gone, work is being done on fields at CMS. They are currently not approved for use. They will be as soon as they're able to be. I don't have a hard date on that because it's not something that's easy to predict. There's work to be done. You are aware that the superintendent has announced her retirement. We addressed that last time. The board is working diligently to identify a new one. We have focus groups out there. There were surveys that have gone out. Last I looked, the body of teachers had returned the most surveys. So we are getting feedback from everyone who is a stakeholder in the new superintendent. In addition, we have another retirement that was announced. Ann Cocciola, who has been our principal at CMS, has announced her retirement. I believe the notice of vacancy went out this morning. I was told it was supposed to anyway. We are very appreciative of her leadership. I believe she was administrator for over 20, I want to say it was 21 years. So, kind of to quote former Mayor Fortenbach, a cornerstone in our schools for years. So we are, the board absolutely appreciates her contributions over however many decades she was with us, and we're really going to miss her. But that process to identify a new principal has already begun actually today with the posting. All right, any questions on any of that so far? Awesome. All the schools right now are gearing up for the conclusion of the school year. It's rapidly approaching. Graduation is scheduled for June 11th at, I believe, 6 p.m. So that's actually a massive undertaking by the folks at the high school. There's a lot that goes into it, a lot of planning, a lot of prep. And then lastly, last night the Board of Finance approved the expenditure of $180,000 to upgrade our phone system. Initially, it was proposed to be a phased-in system. We were going to do this school one year, this school the next. Basically, in a nutshell, we have the new middle school. It's got a brand new state-of-the-art communication system. But it's also, the old middle school was the hub for all the communications inter-district within the district. So the old boards, motherboards and all that had to be moved to the new middle school to be able to communicate. The problem is the new system and the old system weren't efficiently communicating, which actually presents in some ways some safety concerns. So the idea was to phase in the replacement and upgrade the systems at the other schools. The Board of Finance actually decided that instead of phasing it, it was more of an immediate need, and last night they approved the funding to take care of that. So that's kind of hot off the presses. That's it. That's all I have for me, unless you have any questions.
Yep, go ahead, Mr. Waters.
If it's about Jack Daniels, I'm not gonna answer it.
Haven't touched the stuff in 40 years, but thanks for the offer. I don't know if I should be asking you or the building committee, but I'm gonna run this by you.
If I can answer it, I will.
I understand there's been quite a few issues with the new school, roof leaking, sidewalks cracking, the gym floor not settling properly. Can you tell me, is that still, I'm surmising that this should be still under the contract from the construction company?
Last night at the Board of Ed meeting, it did come up that there were some things being inspected, and I know that they're in the works for being inspected. I did not get a complete list of that. I do know that the gym floor was one of the things that was mentioned.
And also going to the superintendent's office, that one concrete walkway, when you're going towards her office, you don't see it, but when you turn around, heading back to the curb, there's a good-sized crack in there too, a long way.
I have every
But
confidence that the building committee is on it.
Yes.
They're very thorough. Rosanna Glenn is someone I would not mess with if I was a builder.
I just hope we don't have to turn around and, when we had other issues with contractors doing stuff that they didn't do it quality, and I hope we don't have problems with anything like that in the future.
I would say that in a project of this size, there's going to be things that pop up after completion, right? Same thing like when you build a house nowadays, stuff pops up and the builder comes back and repairs or fixes or whatever. So I have every confidence that the building committee is gonna take care of it, and with the support of the Board of Ed if they need to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Matt?
When is Ann retiring?
Oh, I'm sorry, she is retiring effective June 30th.
Oh, it's coming up.
Congratulations to her. We appreciate all the dedication she put in. Really, really happy for her. I personally have a strong affinity for her leadership style. I refer to her as kind of an old school disciplinarian. She really holds the kids to task when it comes to disciplinary issues. She's fair but firm, and I have a huge amount of respect for that, especially in the age of the movement where we're doing a lot of what do they call it? It's not retribution, but
Restorative.
thank you. It's restorative. We do a lot of restorative practices now, and I think they're great in most cases. But every now and then, when someone goes too far, you really need to make sure that discipline is in order.
So you're looking for someone to take her place as well as the superintendent?
That's correct. So we're going to be very, very busy between now and the start of next school year, and that's okay. That's what we do.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Matt? Go ahead, Brian.
And I don't know if you'll know the answer to this or not,
I might
but
not.
you're the sacrificial lamb for the Board of Ed here. I don't see anybody else, and this is going to come up later on in the meeting. The approval of the two items that were carried over from the excess funds. One of them is the replacement of window units, AC units in the ECS. Do you happen to know how often we replace those? Because looking at what I got, it looks like we're replacing them every 3 years to the tune of $12,000 a unit for 21 units, which seems pretty crazy and excessive considering that I've had a window unit in my house for about 8 years now that works great.
So one of our board members asked a similar question, and
Okay.
I don't have a full answer to your
No, that's
question,
okay.
to be fair. But the question arose of, why are these things so expensive? I don't know about the 3-year cycle that you just brought up. I honestly don't know the cycle of replacement. My understanding is we replace them when they start to fail. So I don't know, what that lifespan is. But I do know that the explanation for the cost associated with them is that they're all specially fit in these buildings. It's not a simple throw it in a window like you do at your house. I had the same question when I saw those numbers. I was like, how is this even possible? But we also have to face the fact that, we are seeing warmer temperatures per season, right? And, we can't, I'll explain this from a personal point of view. I'm a teacher. I have a classroom in the middle school where I teach. My classroom has no exterior windows. It's an interior room. Over the winter, the school that I work in only has a system that can either heat or cool. So when you shut off the cold, it takes roughly a week to turn it back on and turn off the heat. So it's not like you can just change it when the temperature changes. I had a day this winter where my classroom was over 82 degrees, and I had students begging to like learn in the hallways. And they were able to find another room for me to teach in that day. But the reality is that if you have high temperatures in classrooms, it does affect learning. It also affects behavior, which we know we've seen a lot of behavioral issues. So, you really do need to be able to moderate and control temperatures. ECS is older. We're relying on window units instead of a central air unit. So, they do have to either maintain them or replace them as needed. I know that we generally will do what we can to maintain as much as we can before replacing. We've been actually really good at that over the years. But, you reach a point where if it needs to be replaced, it needs to be replaced. And unfortunately,
Do you know how many there are in ECS? Is there 21 units? Or
Offhand,
are we
I
just
don't know the
replacing, are 21 broken?
Offhand,
Yeah,
I don't know the number offhand. I mean, it's not a small school, right? It's
Right.
it's a single-story school, and you've got ideally you've got 1 unit per room. So,
Right.
I would have to find out how many rooms there are.
Right.
I can't give you a number on that.
I don't believe every room has AC.
I would think it might even be every other because you got some airflow.
If I remember, I mean, I could ask my mother, but my mom works at the elementary school. It's not like- so for those of you who are like, why are you gotta ask your mom? It's because she works there.
My greater question is, why is she not here observing you tonight, right?
No, she's never here. I've never been able to drag her into this building. I think it's like every other room. I don't think it's every room because I know that there are what she calls hot rooms and cold rooms. So I think the office is a cold room, and I know the nurse's office is a cold room.
Yep.
I don't think the cafeteria or the gymnasium have air conditioning. I don't think the art room has. I think the computer rooms do because of the computers. So I think like when you start to divvy it up like that, you realize that a lot of the rooms actually don't have the full system.
And Brian, I can find out the number for you if you want and shoot you an email.
And I'm just wondering, I mean, if we're just replacing them all as a group, like if there's 21 units and we're replacing 21 units, whether they're broken or not, because they are quote-unquote close to their life expectancy, what are we doing with the ones that work?
So, honestly,
where do they go?
Given my experience on the board thus far over the past 4.5 or so years, it has not been my experience that we toss something just because it's nearing the end of its life expectancy. Actually, quite the opposite.
Wow.
We are often trying to, duct tape and hold things together with spit and gum, if we have to keep them functioning before we reach that point. I mean, part of the whole CNR process was to kind of help alleviate some of that. So, off the top of my head, my guess would be that we're not replacing things that don't need replacing. But again, if I can look into that and get back to you if you like.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. Any other questions? My quick one is for the state partnership plan, minimum of 3 years?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And if you try and leave early, there are certain penalties and fees. The only other thing that came up is the unions, when they agreed to change over, had asked for an FSA program. There's a couple of reasons for that. When you give up the HSA, your HSA, the money that an employee puts into their HSA plan is pre-tax. So in some ways, changing over to their partnership plan, which is a PPO plan, is having our employees kind of lose that little bit of tax buffer where they're getting some money free of tax. So they had requested that we do an FSA. It's a minimal cost to the district, and we agreed to do it. It's actually a really good plan for folks. The downside of an FSA is that once you put money into it, you have to use it in that fiscal year, and if you don't, you lose it. So, you really need to be careful about planning out what your expenses are going to be that are health-related, not covered by insurance. So things like glasses are usually covered. CPAP supplies are often covered. I'm speaking from personal experience on some of these. Childcare is actually can be included in that as well. So it does involve some work on the employee's part to really be careful about how they plan out what they're going to spend their FSA fund on. They also don't have to take one, but we anticipate that many will.
Fair enough. She actually texted me, all of them but the cafeteria have AC. So apparently she is watching. So there you go.
My apologies for assuming you were not paying attention, Mrs. Demetriadis.
So I'll be in trouble later. It's okay. I'll take her out to
Apparently,
dinner.
I already am.
Yeah. Okay. All set. Okay. yeah, she's texting me now about AC. Anyways.
Tell her I said hello and please don't hurt me.
I will. I will. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other liaison reports or commission reports? Jason, go ahead.
Okay, we're working. Good evening, everybody. Jason LeBlanc from the Facilities Committee. So, quick update on what we've done over the last month or so. So we've continued our tours of all the facilities. So at this point, we've gone through Town Hall, the Field House, as well as the Police Department and the Community Building last week. We have one more for the Town Building scheduled tomorrow. That's the Park and Rec Building over at Watchers Park. And that will complete all the buildings on the town side. We've also worked with the Board of Ed group, and we have the school tours scheduled for the end of this month. So I believe that Tuesday after the break, we will do WIS and ECS, and then the following Tuesday after that, we will do the middle school and the high school. So those two are the last two big buildings. So by the end of April, we should have had all the large building tours completed, which is good. So we'll know what we're talking about when we say the boiler at the high school is about to go on the fritz. We'll know exactly what it looks like, right? So that's good, and we couldn't have done it without the help from Tony and Mr. Spina and the group, as well as the Board of Ed. Last month, we also reviewed, in general, the CNR appropriations that were done by this group. I attended all the meetings. We reviewed all the appropriations and the recommendations. We didn't have any amended changes to that, and so I know Mr. Wiganowski was with Board of Finance today to go through the last of them. I know that they got the phone money as well, so there was nothing that we wanted to add or amend to that process, which is good. We also reviewed the current CNR process, so one of the goals that we're trying to do is just understand the current process and then try to document that. And then at some point, once we have it documented and we all agree, then we'll look at it and say, okay, is there any pinch points that we can approve? And one of those small steps toward that is on your agenda tonight for the proposal for CNR funds. So that's as part of that process. That's a small step, but we'll continue to do that as well. And then on the CNR funds for the school, the two projects, we did discuss those two projects as a group. Our committee recommends supporting those two projects for the Board of Ed. I believe in talking with Claudia last night, it was roughly $5K per AC project, and it's like $800 for an AC, and then the rest is labor and work to box in and make it weatherproof and do all that stuff like that. So for $21K, it's probably 4 of them, and they're replacing them, like Matt said, when they need to, not all at once. That's my understanding, but I think we should get the hard numbers as well. So again, on the proposals for them, our group agrees that those should go forward while you guys consider those tonight. And then for your proposal tonight for the process, that proposal, just to give a little context, we're not changing the process. It's what both of the teams do when they have residual funds. When they're done, they bring it back, they release it back to the town, and then it goes to the town manager to decide, okay, do we allocate it to new projects? We only added a couple caveats. One is that if there's an emergency, it should go to the emergency first, and that will be up to the town manager to decide what the emergency is. And also, it shouldn't exceed the available funds. So if the one that they want to pick costs 20, we only have 10, of course we can't do that. And then the last one was that any project they would want to start should be started in this fiscal year. So they at least should get the ball rolling, because we don't want to allocate extra CNR funds to something that's going to start in 2 years, because that's really the next fiscal year's project. So that's before you guys to discuss tonight, so we're looking forward to your feedback. And at this point, does anybody have any questions? I'm not talking anything exciting about like Jack Daniels, but sport building stuff, but I'll take questions.
I expect every comment to have a fun fact about what the cost of something was in another year, so,
Be careful what you wish for the next 6 months of meetings. Yeah, right, so.
Appreciate it. Any questions? No, I think you guys are doing an outstanding job. Thank you for touring all the facilities and helping us kind of get a grapple on our assets so we can make the necessary investments for the future. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other chairman or staff reports? Okay, seeing none, I'll move on to the mayor's update. I'll be brief. Like I said, tomorrow we have the Parkinson's Awareness event. I attended the captain's swearing-in ceremony. Congratulations again, Captain. Welcome to your first town council meeting, right? As a captain, right? This is the first one. Congratulations. I like to be very brief and quick with my meetings, as you can tell. We always get out super early. But no, thank you, and we're welcome to this new role. We're really excited for you. And then I just wanted to give the council an update that, I'm a big proponent of transparency. So I received a letter on April 2nd, 2026
from the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. The letter is from the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority about 186 Shunpike Road. An application was submitted to the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority requesting low-income housing tax credits for the above-mentioned development, 186 Shunpike Road. And it's given the town a month to comment on that after some back and forth, and this help of our state rep and our state senator. We've been able to learn a little bit more of it. They won't give the actual application to us to comment on, which is a little frustrating insofar that they're asking us to provide comments regarding the application, but they said because it's open bidding, they don't have to actually provide us the application. So what I've been able to learn is that a little bit of background on this property. So originally this was owned by one developer. There was a settlement associated with it. It was sold to a second developer, the Carrier Group. The Carrier Group went before Planning and Zoning for approval for, I believe, 64 or 65 units of regular apartments to go into that facility or into that location. And that was approved through Planning and Zoning through a site plan modification. And then the Carrier Group has sold that piece of property to this third company that is applying for this FH. Hold on, I want to get the acronym right. Well, FHFA appropriation, which is essentially 10% funding from the state of Connecticut to build the housing there. After some push, we were able to learn that it is right now there are no site plan modification for that application, so it's going to be the same site plan that currently that Carrier submitted. So whatever Carrier got approved by Planning and Zoning, it would be that site plan. But it seems to me that some percentage of the units would be at It seems to me that some percentage of these program or apartments, if it's approved, would be 48 of the units would be considered qualified units for the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. So those would be affordable units that are 80% of medium rental value in the town. Now we don't have the application, so I don't know the breakdown of which units are going to be.
Out of how many units?
65. So that's all the information that I have. That's all the information that the town has. When we asked them, again, Matt Lesser and Christy Carpino did some digging, and they were able to get the agency to send us the public documents, which were all the documents from the planning and zoning process of approval. So we were able to verify at least it's the same plan that they submitted, Carrier submitted is what they submitted. It's just the rental value of the actual property. So as soon as I have more information on it, I will continue to share it with you all, but I think it was important to let you know that I did receive that letter and to update you on what I learned over the course of the week.
Now, is there construction, and I don't know if you have the answer to this, is there construction contingent on their getting this funding from the state?
Yeah, it's a 9% tax credit request. I haven't talked to them directly, so I don't know. I don't know if their construction is contingent on it or not. Carrier was ready to move. I thought Carrier was ready to move ahead with it. They went through all the process of getting their applications and approval, but they sold it to this other group.
Well, for quite a pretty penny.
Flip it. Do the work and then flip it. So as soon as I don't know if town staff are planning on providing any comment, but we don't have the application, so we provided comment to Carrier, and Planning and Zoning took those into consideration when they approved the site plan modification in 2025. So now I'll leave it to the town's discretion if they're going to add any other comments. But I just wanted to alert the council as to that letter that I received. So any other questions for me on that? Okay. Otherwise, those are my updates. Thank you, guys. I'll go on to the town manager's update.
And on that note, we're not adding any additional comments, because again, we don't have an application before us for any changes. So what Carrier was approved stands at this time. Excuse me. The pollen is killing me. Out there, it's unbelievable. At any, maybe some Jack Daniels. I'll talk to you later. At any rate, my report, a list of my activity for the prior month is in there. I just want to say, we finished up the budget last night as reported. We did last Thursday till 11, and last night till 10:30. I have to really give kudos to our Director of Finance, Sharon Duo. She's done an outstanding job with the budget, a big asset, a real huge assistance to me in this budget. And this was not an easy one this year. As continuously brought up, the health benefits, we too decided to go to the partnership plan. Unfortunately, the percentage that we got back from our carrier was 40%. And it just didn't make any sense to continue. So, elected, after a number of meetings, to go forward with the state partnership plan. And it is, as the mayor pointed out, for 3 years. We will be doing, continuing at least for another year, self-funding of the dental plan, but we will be moving there to the partnership. Unfortunately, as you may or may not have heard, Scott Karras has elected to take a position in his hometown. It's a little bit more of a challenge for him, the type of position, with a little more compensation that we wouldn't be able to offer here. So that's going to be a big loss for us. Scott has been with us for about 8 years now. Outstanding. Everything I've ever asked him to do for us, he's been able to do, plus thinking outside the box in a number of initiatives that he did. I'm gonna really miss him as one of our directors. So we are in the process of looking for that. And that's all I have, unless somebody has a question.
I'll speak on behalf of the council, I think, for this one. Please extend to, from all of us, our deepest gratitude and thanks to Scott for his work. Taking over the farmer's market and making it a town event, the bazaar that he holds at Town Hall for the holidays, the holiday on Main, all of the different events that he organizes are just all outstanding, and we're gonna miss him a lot. Please extend our thanks to him. I don't know when his last day is, but please tell him, if he's still here, tell him we thank him a lot. Thank you. Any other questions for the town manager? I know it's in your report, but the interviews have concluded for Human Resources. Do you know when you'll be recommending a candidate to us for that?
Possibly, as we discussed today, if we do have a special meeting towards the end of the month or at the May council meeting.
Great. Okay. And when we get to the end of the meeting, just a preview, we're going to look for dates for a special meeting later this month, so we'll talk about that at the end of the meeting for different dates. Any other questions for the town manager? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to liaison reports from ourselves. So anyone have any liaison information? Paula, I'll start with you.
Okay. The Cultural District Commission held 2 meetings that I've attended recently, one on March 16 and one on April 1, and they are finalizing preparations for their drive-through of what we propose to be the cultural district. That will occur on April 30 from 1 to 3 p.m. with state officials and town officials attending.
And then I think are the council members being invited to the reception afterwards?
Oh, and
Yeah.
I think they're inviting council members.
Yes, so on the 30th, I think it's a Thursday, the first hour will be a tour, and then the second hour will be a reception at Tony's Flower Shop. You should all be getting invitations, I believe, shortly.
And the first part of the first hour will just be a quick walkthrough.
Yep, it's a walkthrough followed by a drive-through, followed by a reception.
By a reception.
And we have really positive reception from them. We've already started the process of filling out the required paperwork. I know Amanda and you guys have been working, I think you guys got from Kim from the state some paperwork to fill out to receive the funds from the state. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like we're full speed ahead to get that $1,000, so. Hopefully they enjoy the tour and then they sign their final thing, so we got it.
James,
Yes. Go ahead, Paul.
the other thing I attended was Captain John Carlson's promotion on March 19. That's it.
Fire district's budget passed in a landslide last night, 16-10. So we got that going for us. What else? Jason filled you in on all of the facilities committee stuff. So, yeah, that's what I got. I'll know more about fire district stuff at their meeting next Tuesday.
16 to 10.
16 to 10. Yep. Not bad for a 2-hour window.
Mr. Waters, anything from any of your commissions?
I attended the EDC meeting, and they had a representative there from Alpine, reference 100 Berlin Road, and they gave us, each member a packet, which this is the second time I've seen it. It's quite a project, and it's gonna be the gateway to Cromwell. It's just, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but.
Yeah, okay, I've seen this.
And it's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna make the whole area over there look so much, it's gonna just lighten up the town over there in that side of town. The other. Pardon me? There's gonna be offices there, offices, I think it's.
They did keep the retail, they shrunk it a little bit. I think it was shrunk, they have it here. They shrunk the retail from the original proposal in 2022 was 31,000 square feet. The 2025 proposal was 12,000 square feet. The final proposal that was approved is 10,000 square feet. 2 stores, yeah. Well, they said 4. I don't know how they're gonna fit 4 in there, but they said a coffee shop, a sit-down restaurant, a retail store, and a medical office is what they're shooting for. They said 4,000 square feet for the restaurant, the coffee shop 2,000, general retail 2,000, medical office 2,000. I mean, listen, maybe it's just a dentist with a little bench. I don't know. I don't know what else you can fit in there, but sure.
Speaking of 1976.
Still 267 units, it looks like, Al?
Yes.
And then their current proposal is to maintain what we had agreed to in 2023, which is 10% units at 80% of market value, 503 parking spaces, and then still 5 stories as before. And I do know that they indicated at Planning and Zoning that they will be getting a traffic light at the entrance of that facility, which was a big concern people had.
Providing the state traffic control approves it.
Correct.
Because the lights they want to put in over there are going to be synchronized according to the other lights, so they should avoid traffic problems over there.
Entrance
Yeah.
only less than 80 yards from a traffic light already?
Yeah.
Existing?
They did a secondary traffic study, and their secondary traffic study indicated it would be beneficial to have a light, so it was approved.
Sequence, though.
Yeah, see, it would be synchronous with that other light, so they would turn green at the same time, red at the same time. Yeah.
James,
Good. Sorry, Brian. You're right. I do that sometimes.
did you say that the height of those buildings would be 5 stories? Is that what you said?
Correct.
Now, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that the ladders that we have in the fire area don't go up 5 stories.
I've heard that as
Is
well.
that the plan?
I believe that they're buying
Okay.
new
I
apparatus.
was just curious, if they don't go up to 5 stories, why are we building 5 stories?
I believe that the fire district is purchasing a new apparatus because there may, this building and other buildings in town may require it.
Yeah, if I'm on the 5th story, I would require it.
Oh, my
Our
God.
neighbors do have,
Okay.
apparatus.
And we do mutual aid with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Al.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Thanks for doing my report.
Sorry, Al. You gave me
That's-
the book, so I started reading it.
That's okay. Karma. No.
No, what? Go ahead.
The other thing was, the Senior Advisory Commission, we met, and, Amy is, she's still doing a phenomenal job for the seniors. And, yeah, and we've talked about it, heard about it, everything. Too bad they didn't have more space so they could expand the stuff for the seniors. But she's doing so much for them. I just feel proud to have her on board and doing what she's doing. And also, I did attend Chief Penn's swearing in, and also Sergeant, now Captain, Mr. John's ceremonies, which quite pleasant. I did not get to see your wife put the, I'm not gonna say stab you with that thing, but.
Oh, my gosh.
But I did see Mr. Penn's wife. She got even with him, maybe. But anyways, congratulations to both of you gentlemen. Thank you. That's it.
Anything to my right, Jack? Ann?
Yeah, I did attend the,
Microphone.
CMS building, I apologize. I did attend the CMS Building Committee meeting on March 18th, and they gave an update on the photovoltaic system installation goal of being October of this year. Gave an update on the fields and work being done and plantings being done, and continue to evaluate playability on the fields. And then did address both the issues that Councilman Waters brought up regarding the gym floor and also noise on the stage floor. So those are being evaluated, and we'll hear more next meeting, I assume.
We received a complaint from the Little League. Was that forwarded to them and addressed as part of the fields discussions?
I don't recall that being mentioned.
Okay, thank you. Jim?
Hi there, the Conservation Commission, still continuing along the things we've been working on. Nothing terribly new to report, but I think we'll have some interesting things to talk about in our meeting tomorrow. Also, I met with the Director of Human Services to better coordinate on our, I guess, we were asked to take the lead on the food security aspect of our town toolkit, and we're trying to just see where we can go with that. Amy was very cooperative, interested in doing forming some kind of partnership or seeing what ways we could work together on these sorts of things. So it was, that was a nice thing. I really appreciated that. So hopefully we'll have some interesting things to do there, some ideas such as doing like a food drive at the Riverport Festival, for example, or something like that. These are good ideas that were brought up. So we're making progress and getting creative. And that's about it.
Love it. Thank you. Before we continue to financial, I see some folks in the audience. Is there any interest in moving citizens' comments up? I'm going to look at the folks that are out there. Anyone who wants to do citizens' comments before the financials? Yeah. Okay. So let's move citizens' comments up if we could before financials to a new. We'll move everything down by one letter, Amanda. So we'll make that new item N. We'll make item N the new item K, and then buffer everything down. That way, the folks that are out there that want to talk to us can talk to us. Can I have a motion for that?
Motion.
Okay, made by Brian, seconded by, I'll give it to Jamin. But any further discussion? Hearing none, because it's a mid-meeting move of an agenda requires 2/3 vote. So all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. Okay, we are now at citizens' comments. 2 minutes per speaker. Please identify your name and your address for the record. Yeah, you're welcome. I saw you guys hanging out there, and I was like, I think they want to talk. So, and just make sure that you go to the microphone when you do so, so everything's captured for the record. Yep, that's fine.
Again, thank you, appreciate that. We got 2 young kids at home, so they'll be appreciative. So good evening, thank you for your time. My name's Brad Huff, with my wife Roxanne Huff here. We live at 1 Riverside Drive, and we're here regarding the municipal stormwater outfall on our property that is discharging directly onto that said property. This outfall collects runoff from the public roadway and catch basins and releases it approximately 50 feet onto our land as a concentrated flow. As you can see on the poster board here, we have observed significant and ongoing erosion at this location, including deep channel incision, slope instability, and substantial material washout. To better understand the issue, we engaged a third-party professional engineer to evaluate the condition. Their findings were pretty clear. The discharge velocities from this outflow exceeded the non-erosive thresholds established by deep stormwater quality manual, and as a result, the flow is causing the erosion and destabilizing the area. The report further states that under both deep guidance and MS4 stormwater requirements, municipalities are responsible for managing discharges in a way that prevents downstream erosion and protects private property. Importantly, this is not a new issue to the town. We did meet on site with the town engineer in August of 2024, and again with Mr. Salvatore and the town engineer recently in December 2025. At both meetings, the severity of the condition was evident, despite that the condition continues to worsen with each rainfall event. So at this point, we have a known issue, a documented engineering evaluation, and continued erosion on our property. We are asking the town to formally address this condition and move forward with a solution. And so we have a 1-page summary sheet for you guys here that I'll hand out to the town council. I will ask if the town clerk can enter it in for record. I don't know if that's Amanda. Okay, thank you. It includes a QR code. You can view the videos of the stormwater event on our property during rain events. So thank you. I think that's probably my 2 minutes. I'll give it to my wife.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you again for helping us up. Our little boy is going to be excited to see us. So my name is Roxanne Huff, and as Brad just explained, this is a documented engineering issue. And for us, it's not just that, but it's also a daily safety concern. We have small children, 2 of them at home, and there's other children in our neighborhood that are out playing all the time. They play in and around the area, and the erosion has created a deep and unstable channel that has very steep side slopes. So it's not just cosmetic damage. I know you guys can't see these photos, but you can, and you can see that it's very extensive, but it's also a physical hazard to our small children. The ground is uneven, the slopes are unstable, and the condition continues to worsen after every storm. It's not difficult to imagine a child slipping, falling, chasing a ball, or getting hurt down there. It keeps me up at night. It is a very, very big concern. We have done everything that we can as homeowners. We've raised the issue early. As soon as we saw that this was occurring, we reached out to the town to gain your support. We met with the town multiple times, and we then brought in a licensed engineer to evaluate the condition and help us understand what was going on. So at this point, this is not something that we can reasonably or safely fix on our own. We're asking the town for 4 specific things. One is acknowledgement of the issue. The second is a formal evaluation of what is occurring at our property. The third is a plan to stabilize the outfall and prevent further erosion to address this huge safety concern. And the fourth is a clear timeline for when this plan will be implemented. We're committed to working collaboratively, but we do need action. This has been ongoing for over 1.5 years, and the condition is getting worse, not better. We appreciate your time and attention and moving us up in your agenda, and we're looking forward to a resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for the council's edification, Attorney Olson did send the couple from Riverside Drive a letter in January on this matter. They are represented by legal counsel, I believe, right, still? Yeah. The letter, I'll just read it for the record, was addressed to their attorney. Dear Attorney McDermott, this firm represents the town of Cromwell. This letter is in response to your letter to James Demetriadis, mayor of the town of Cromwell, dated December 2nd, 2025. We've reviewed your letter and the history of the subdivision on Riverside Drive. While we are sympathetic to your client's concerns, we've determined that the town of Cromwell is not liable for the drainage issues at the Huff's property. This conclusion is based off of a review of the aerial maps dating back to the 1930s, the date upon which the subdivision and the road were later construction, and the statutory provisions governing the matter. In sum, the drainage wall has always been there and have been a drainage site of all the land for many decades. This, coupled with evidence that the road drainage and that was designed for the existing wall was installed in the 1980s, makes it clear that the town is not responsible. Thus, it will be up to the Huffs to take whatever corrective measures they deem appropriate on their property, but the town is willing to work with you to the extent legally permissible to facilitate through permitting to alleviate the concerns. Carrie Olson. So that was the last correspondence that I've had. I don't know if there's been more correspondence since then from your council to Carrie. What I would suggest is, because the attorneys are involved, we can't get directly involved, so I would encourage you through your council to continue to work with our town council on it. Once the attorneys are involved, we can't comment or get directly involved.
Understood.
Yeah.
We would, it sounds like you can't get involved, but
Yeah.
if anybody wants to walk the property, I'm sure
Yeah.
seeing it firsthand might change or sway some ideas or thoughts.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to do so.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other citizens' comments? Go ahead, Jason.
Hi, Jason LeBlanc, 3 Cedar Drive again. So, one, on Scott Curis is leaving, I'll echo the town manager's sentiment that Scott's been a great asset to the town, having worked with Scott personally as the president of the soccer club. He was great in supporting the club and helping us with the fields and doing other activities and stuff like that. So, yeah, he will be missed. As for Mike Conan, I can't say enough about how he helped the club. I think that most of the parents don't realize that, okay, without the fields, we wouldn't have a soccer program, and Mike and his crew were, critical to having that happen. They mowed the lawns, they painted the lines, and every year they took care of us and made sure that everything was in ship shape, even for tournaments and special stuff. So Mike always got it done for the club, and so he definitely will be missed. And then lastly, for Scott, for those of you that want to kind of give him a good send-up, I think Roseanne just sent out dates for kind of like a goodbye for him from the rec commission. So I just wanted to mention that here.
I don't know if I saw that yet.
Yeah, she sent it out earlier today. So she just said, invitation for Scott, feel free to stop by if you can. And so it's Scott saying so long to Cromwell. It's on Thursday, April 23rd, between 2 and 4 in the Belden Room. So if any of you want to go and say goodbye to him personally, I guess they have some time marked out for that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Jason. And now I'm going to citizens comment somebody. Dee, do you want to introduce the new liaison to the town council from Covenant Living, Ms. LaJoy? I'm not saying she has to say anything, but I'm saying, do you want to introduce her? And maybe we can guilt her into joining the club. No Jack Daniels, though, for her. It's too late.
Diane Doxey, Missionary Road. I live at Covenant Living. I've been town liaison from Covenant Living to the town it'll be 4 years when I finish. It's usually a 2-year term, but I took a double. And Renee will be following me, Renee LaJoy. She has been a resident of Middletown, so she's coming in not quite as callow as I was when I got here. I had to use a GPS to get to town hall. I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. So I think she's going to do a great job. It'll be different from the way I did it, which will probably be better, I would imagine, for sure. But anyway, she's very welcome. Renee LaJoy. She's happy to introduce it to everybody.
Well, welcome. And Dee, is this your last meeting?
No.
Okay.
I have 2 more.
You have 2 more. Okay, good. Good. We like seeing you, so thank you. And Ms. LaJoy, welcome. I don't know if you want to say anything. I'm not going to force you, but welcome to the town of Cromwell. Always feel free to reach out to us, and welcome again. Happy to have you. Any other citizens' comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll now move on to our normal finance report.
good evening. So I'm going to do my fun fact, and you're probably not going to appreciate it, but in 1976, gas was 57 cents a gallon.
Well,
What year?
76.
In your packet are the budget reports through the end of March. The investment revenue and conveyance taxes still, they remain strong. At this point in the fiscal year, as we approach year end, which I can't believe we're approaching year end already, I am reviewing the budgets in much more detail and more closely. Last night, the Board of Finance finished all the budgets for the town, and I drafted this memo after a conversation with John Ireland this morning. What took place, what was three budgets that were approved.
okay. You know, it's really, we're almost at 70. I said, I remember when I had lunch with the governor, he asked, how large is your town budget? And I think at the time it was 65 million. And he goes, for the police department, public works? I go, no, that's everything, Mr. Governor. That's the whole town budget. But it seems like we're moving on up. I know that we had requested I had requested a meeting, and I know it's scheduled for later in the month, to kind of get a better handle on some of the directions that the mill rate could go with different scenarios. Something that I mean, it's up to the Board of Finance ultimately, not us, but something I'd like to see is a range or an estimate of potential impacts. I know it's not an exact science because there's a lot of different ways to have, the Board of Finance has a lot of ways that they can take from the fund balance or supplement from different places in order to set the mill rate. But I think it would be helpful for residents when they go out to vote to understand, okay, you know, this could have somewhere between a 2 and a 3% mill rate increase or a 1% mill rate increase. And then also for the people to understand what percentage of the impact is going to be from the middle school construction. I think that, you know, people voted on it 4 or 5 or 6 years ago and may have forgotten, you know, that it down the river, there would be a cost associated with it with the debt service. And the debt service went from what, like 800,000 to?
It went up about almost 900,000.
Yeah, so it went up 900,000, it doubled. So, you know, that's something that is new expenditure that you have to pay. You borrow money, you have to pay back. So I think something, if we could work, and again, Board of Finance has this authority under charter, not us, but if we could work on a range or something that just gives, or a breakdown that gives voters a little bit of an idea of what the potential tax implications of the changes would be, I think that will be really helpful, because one of the big pieces of feedback that I hear is, okay, what is this going to do to my taxes? And then I kind of go, well, maybe something, maybe not, depends on how Board of Finance handles the fund balance. So I know that there's stuff cooking on it, but I just wanted to make that ask.
Yes, and I know you had a conversation with John Ireland this morning, and I can bring back your concerns from this meeting.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it is up to the Board of Finance?
Correct.
Okay, so.
I know.
I will bring back the concerns.
Yeah, just a range.
Okay. All right, does anyone have any other questions?
Yeah, yeah. Now let's talk about the LoSiP fund appropriation request for the drainage improvements on Cedar Drive and Coles Road. As folks may recall, this was one of the drainage projects that I think our 2023 study had identified as a priority, and then we had prioritized it. Mr. Town Manager, what is the next move on this?
Mr. Mayor, last night after discussion, you'll see the second page here on what was handed out. In discussing this further with the Board of Finance, and the fact that I just signed for 123,000, almost 124,000 more decided by the Board of Finance to incorporate that into the project instead of taking the funds out of CNR. So therefore, we reduced the request to CNR to $155,185, with the remainder coming out of our LoSiP. And this will account for all the LoSiP that we have for the town of Cromwell, which is in line with what the state wants us to do as far as expending the funds. So with that, I would request that you approve the expenditure of the CNR along with the LoSiP funds. And I think we can do it with just the total. Excuse me? So, as a result, then, I would request two votes, one for the new CNR amount and one for the LoSiP.
Okay, one for the new CNR and one for the LoSiP. Okay.
And this should provide enough funding to do the Cedar Drive Coles Road project.
Okay, wonderful. Do we need to take a brief recess so you can calculate those two numbers, or?
The LoSiP is 620,531.
Sorry, say that again?
620,531.
Yep. And the CNR?
155, 185.
Okay. Great. Okay, so any further discussion on that?
I
Mr.
have a
DeProto.
question.
Yep.
Mr. Town Manager, the LoSiP funds, these are all on-hand funds? These aren't, I know they're switching to like a grant process or something?
They are allocated to the town of Cromwell. They're sitting in a pot at the state, and we've made application for all our funds from the state
Okay, thank you.
for this project.
Any further discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, I'll start with I'll accept a motion for 155, 185 for CNR.
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Ann. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. Second is LoSiP, $620,531. Can I have a motion for the LoSiP fund appropriation?
So moved.
Made by Jack.
Second.
Second by Jamin. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Okay. Next, we are going to new item K3, which is going to be those items that we tabled, I believe, a meeting or two ago, before the budget cycle, regarding the CNR overflow request from the Board of Ed. There were two items that they were asking for. We discussed the air conditioners earlier this evening. Otherwise, there's also the WIS LED gym lights. So I'm looking at the request here. Sharon, what should we be, what's the final budget line item for both of these projects combined? I see that the lights are 35, 329.18, and then are the air conditioners $23,228? $288. Okay, should we approve those if we were to approve them separately or together? Okay, and what fund are they coming from? For fiscal year 25? Oh, 26, got it. Okay, okay. Not 25, it's not late rollover from, because the fiscal year runs 25 to 20. Got it. Okay, any further discussion on that, on these two requests?
Where,
Hold on one second. Just Eamon go, and then Jason goes.
I was just wondering where the remaining balance goes in 19,385? So that's okay. All right, just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. LeBlanc, go ahead.
So for these two projects here, so, and as part of our trying to tighten stuff as we go forward, I believe that the Wish Gym Lights is roughly 36K, and the ECS AC is 23K. I would add a 10% contingency to those totals that you approved tonight. So the totals that I would recommend would be 40K for the WIS, and let's say 26K for those. That way, if there's any minor overages, then they don't have to come back here to ask for money. I think contingency is a good way to do it. So for those two, I would change the amounts that you guys vote on in your motions to those amounts, and that would leave, roughly $15,000 left over that would just go back to the CNR fund. That's the first comment on this. The other one I would add is that you guys just talked about the CNR request for the LoSiP. That leaves $123,815 of CNR funds that are not going to be used. So I guess my question is can those funds be applied to other CNR projects that either the Board of Ed or the town needs to do?
So I'm just looking at your fund balance. 86,470 is the fund balance for CNR from current fiscal year?
And that has the 123 that we're not using now that we're.
No, the 19 is not in that. I just got the memo today. So you would have to add the 19,385 back to that 86.
Sharon, I'm up on my phone.
So currently you have 86,000 available in CNR fund balance.
Mhm.
And Claudio is returning the 19.
But didn't we also just allocate LoSiP funds to,
The bell is in here.
that's in there?
Yep, the bell is
So-
subtracted from there.
Got it.
It's on that report.
Wait a minute, excuse me. 1 second, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Approved was 97,197. The actual was 19,254.76. He's returning 77,000.
Right, I'm sorry, so yeah, we're gonna add 77,000 to that balance.
I just want,
Okay.
it's not 19.
Yeah, his memo was a little confusing.
Yeah, I agree after I read it.
19 is still remaining after the 42
No,
and the
that's what-
23 is
yeah.
spent. Got it. Do you think that these, Jason is suggesting a contingency. Do we think we need contingencies of on Claudio's quotes? Because he did provide quotes for both of these, but.
He gave the price for both of them.
Also point out, the Board of Ed has still a fairly substantial surplus.
Yeah, Jason, I appreciate it. I think that given they have direct quotes, I'm looking at both of these quotes, they have direct quotes and it's a per unit cost for both of the things. If we need a contingency, we can always either have the Board of Ed revisit it or we can revisit it. I think, Matt, is that fair? Or do you think that we should put a buffer in for contingency?
I mean, if you've got solid quotes, then.
Yeah, Claudio gave us solid quotes.
So this still has to go to the
To
Board
Board
of
of Finance.
Finance if he feels
Yes,
he can
let's
make
do
his.
that. I agree with them as the town manager. So Matt, if you just want to check with Claudio before the Board of Finance meeting where they'll approve this, that if he does think it needs a buffer, what he's suggesting as a buffer, and Board of Finance can amend it. Thanks. Any further discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, I'll first accept a motion on the LED gym lights at WIS for $35,329.18.
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. ECS AC window replacement, $23,288.00.
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries.
These lights are for Wisco.
Okay, so next in your packet is a surplus capital project fund reallocation policy recommended by the Asset Committee and the town manager. What I'd like to do is, I've spoken with our colleagues over at the Board of Ed. They want to, they didn't get a final copy of this, so they want to be able to review it. So in the spirit of our continued cooperation, we can discuss it tonight, and then they're asking that we just hold off until May to approve it. I think that's fine because, you know, we're just codifying a practice, and a month, if everyone wants to be able just to feel comfortable with it, I want everyone to feel comfortable with it. At least that's my perspective, unless the body wants to vote on it tonight, but I've been asked to postpone it. We can discuss it tonight, or unless people just want to table the whole thing until after they have a chance to look at it, up to you. Or you can say, forget it, and we want to vote on it ourselves tonight. But my position would be, if our colleagues and partners want us to pause so they can look at it and understand it, I'm fine with that. But the proposal's pretty straightforward. If it's a current fiscal year and it's projected to have a surplus, the surplus is identified. Once there's reasonable confidence that that's going to be the surplus, it's returned to the CNR fund, which is already current practice and made available for reallocation. Again, already current practice. Upon recommendation and approval by the town manager and then the town council and Board of Finance, such funds may be approved or appropriated in the following manner. The next highest priority planned capital project, or for emergency or unforeseen priority capital needs. Must be in the current fiscal year and not exceed the available surplus amount. So that's the policy. I think that makes a lot of sense. Do folks, again, our colleagues at BOE asked us to pause so they can just review the amended language. Yeah. Yeah? Is this different than what you had?
No, this is actually kind of going back to something Jamin said. Just, you mentioned the surplus from Board of Ed. Is that from last year that you're referring to?
It's what's in our report. It was like 390 something, 396, 636.
From at the end of last school year? We when we did the budget this year, we actually put all that back into the budget. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm confused. My apologies. We were saying that, I was like, wait a minute, I don't think there's any of that left. My apologies.
No, it always, who knows?
Okay. Any further discussion on this, or do we want to table it?
I think it's pretty sound policy.
Yeah, I like the policy too. Again, they just asked, the Board of Ed chair asked me today if we would pause so they could look at it, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so can I have a motion to table?
So moved.
Made by Jamin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion to table being made and seconded. There is no discussion, so all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, we are tabled. Thank you, Matt. You have a copy of the proposal? Okay. Yep. Okay, next we're going to tax refunds, and then we'll take a quick bathroom break. So can I have a motion on the tax refunds?
Motion approved 1 through 10.
Motion made. Second. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstention? Motion carries. We're going to take a brief, let's see what time it is. We're going to be back at 9:04. Okay, folks.
9:04, you did
Folks,
well.
I have 9:06, so I'm going to call us back to order. Mr. Waters, Deputy Mayor, I'm going to call us back to order. I'm going to steal the Deputy Mayor back from you, Ms. LaJoy. I left it downstairs, I know. Okay, we are back in order. We're back in order at 9:06. We are now going to move on to the Chief of Police update. Chief Penn. Now we're rolling. We're going to get out of here at 9:30.
We are? Good evening. Along with my report, I just have a couple of other things to add. The captain and I have started planning with the Travelers Championship. That's just a couple weeks away. Our animal control department is starting their survey for dog licenses. They usually go out to 20% of the residents who don't have dogs, and then to see if everyone's in compliance. The police department now has 3 open positions due to Chief Sifo's retirement, and we just had one person resign. Plus, we had an open position from over the summer. You have any questions for me? Yes. But we have some very promising prospects in the that are going to the background process right now.
So I'll start with my right. Mr. DeProto or Ms. Hulick, any questions for the chief?
I'm trying to remember if I had something.
Okay, sure. Jack?
No, sir.
Al? No. Brian?
No, I'm good.
Paula? Okay, I had a couple of quick questions. So first, just in general, our recruitment numbers, when we have a seat open, how many, I've been being told in my mediations that I'm in that I can't compare myself to, I do a lot of municipal contracts, that the police officers are the ones that are having the hardest time for recruitments, and their recruitment numbers are really down all across the state. You know, when you used to get a couple hundred qualified candidates, now you're getting 50 or 40 or 30. How are we doing with getting qualified candidates to apply?
We're having some difficulties.
Okay.
I mean, just with the last pool, I think we had 23 that were invited to the oral board. From there, we had half no-shows.
Oh, wow.
And then, so they cut it in half again. Then they go to the physical agility, so cut it in half. So now we have 3 that are right now into the background phase.
Okay.
And
Mr. Mayor, on that note, I meant to mention that I am negotiating with 2 unions, but the police sworn have approached me to renegotiate their contract, and I'll probably be bringing that to this board at the May.
Oh, a reopener?
Yeah, they want to do a reopener, so.
Reopener or extension?
A reopener with an extension.
Understood.
And when we go into executive session, I'll explain it to the council members, but it does have an effect on what you're discussing right now.
Yeah. Are we Seamers for are we in Seamers for pension?
We are.
Okay.
Now you understand.
Gotcha. Good. Okay. Okay, so that was my first question. My second question is, I know I've thrown at you a couple traffic-related concern questions. Just for edification purposes, when you guys are the traffic control authority in town, so you are, yeah, okay. So when residents have concerns, what information would it be helpful for them to be bringing you other than, I think cars are going too fast on my road? Like, what do you look for in making your decisions regarding traffic control? Like, what is the criteria you're looking for?
I mean,
So residents know.
I'll look into anything. I
Yeah.
mean, I just got an email from a concerned resident that the light at Route 372 and 217 for the people coming from Middletown to make a left onto 372, the light wasn't long enough.
Yep.
I had Sergeant go out, do a traffic study, and then from there, I made contact with District 1 of DOT. They came out and they made sure the lights were operating, and then what I got was everything was, depending on when they're there, is how the synchronized of the lights for the timing are. so that traffic can be let out with the other flow of east and westbound lights.
And then I noticed that there was the traffic study device, or the little flashy light thing on Evergreen. I don't know what the technical term is, so I'm gonna call it the flashy light thing on Evergreen going towards Washington that flashes at people who are going too fast. Never me, but other
Never you,
folks.
yes.
Never me, but other folks. I've heard it flashes at people. And that's been up for a couple months. Is that part of a data collection effort there, or speeding?
There's multiple around town, yes.
Okay.
And that's one of them, yep.
And when will we be able to get the results of the, or will you be reporting those to us, or where do those go?
They stay in-house within the police department. I mean, if you wanted them, just let me know.
Yeah, I'd be curious, just because those are, I think they're on Court Street and on.
So there's one on Gear.
Yep.
I think there's one on Evergreen. There used to be one on Main Street.
Yeah.
There used to be one on Coles Road.
Yeah, I'd like to just be able to like see that data, just so I can understand, if there are speeding corridors. If there are, and where they are, and as we're kind of planning, is there stuff that we could do? I know there's,
So your route to work is not on Evergreen then? So,
my route.
or is it just to your mom's house?
Yeah, just to my mom's house, I'll say that. But I'm just trying to kind of get a scope for where that data goes, and I think it's helpful. Okay, so that was my third question. My fourth question is, I was asked on Facebook about a form that somebody was looking into, and I believe I found the answer to it, but it's regarding to a what is called, I'm trying to think of the technical word here. Indigent form. And I believe that I saw the Freedom of Information policy that the Board of Selectmen passed in 2006 on it. We as a body don't have to approve individual forms thereafter, though, do we?
Correct.
Okay, so like the policy says that if you can't afford it under FOI, that somebody can apply for a waiver. You guys as a department independently, right, you enact that piece of legislation that we
Correct.
passed
Yep.
and make the waiver?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions for the chief? Go ahead, Jim.
Small one. Is under incident statistics report, property check, it says there was 512 incidences. Is that normal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
So
wow.
what happens, so say like the midnight, so it's accountability, say, for officers to be checking their districts throughout their course of the day or shift. So they will go to Walmart, they'll patrol the parking lot, get out, talk to anybody, make sure everything's, appropriate, no fire lane violations or handicap violations, and then at that point, they would call in and say it's a 1071. So it's a property check to make sure everything's all right. So
All right,
it's
cool.
like the old days when you go up and you're shaking doors, for the beat cop. So it's giving them credit that they're doing the work that they're doing.
I can tell you that at any given time between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., there's a cruiser that drives around my building.
So that would be a 71.
So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, chief.
Better than car washes. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, chief.
I'm learning.
Any further, okay, well, Captain, do you have anything you want to say? It's your first meeting, or are you good? Yeah, if you want to say something, it's your first meeting with us, so.
Thanks for having me. I will say I did attend, I was participating in the Harlem Wizards game, so we had 2 officers, myself, we played in the game. It was a great event. Ton of people came, ton of kids came. It was great to see the police department working with teachers, working with people in the school, so that went great. And,
How'd you guys do? Did you win?
No. But no hamstrings torn or anything like that.
Okay.
And then we did do a Easter bunny thing we helped out with that for the kids, so that went well as well.
Nice.
But yeah, thanks for your kind words and everyone. I appreciate it.
Well, we're happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Spina, you're up.
Good evening. You have my report in front of you. 2 or 3 quick other points I'd like to make that may be of interest. First and foremost, we're speaking about budgets and all the capital purchases. We did take delivery this morning of a new six-wheel dump truck for the highway department. So staff looked it over briefly. It met their specifications, and we're looking forward to getting that thing on the road, and then probably by the end of the week. So I appreciate the continued support with bolstering up our fleet. Earlier this evening, we recognized Mike Conant, and along the same line, I'll echo my thoughts on Mike, and Mike and I had a long conversation out in the lobby before we came upstairs, but it's not easy to replace 35 years of institutional knowledge, but with that said, we move forward with replacement of him, and earlier this morning, myself and John Harriman did some interviews, and after that process was complete, I did recommend our current assistant foreman, Tom Sheehan, to replace him, and that was approved by the town manager, so that will take effect on Monday morning. So if you guys see Tommy around town, I'm sure most of you know him. He's been working for us for about 15 years. He's been working under Mike for the last 13. We had two great candidates that came in this morning. Both were internal. They both recognized Mike and, said they've been studying under him and watching him for years. So I'm sure Tommy's going to do a fine job. He's been in charge for about a year before when Mike was out on a medical leave, and he's also took over the last 6 weeks when Mike abruptly left us. So, I was joking with them both downstairs. I'm sure he'll have Mike on speed dial for a little while, but I anticipate that it'll be a seamless process, and I expect great things from Tommy. We're going to post his assistant foreman job right away, and hopefully at next month's meeting, I'll have an update on that for you all as well. And then lastly, at 3 o'clock this afternoon, myself, John Harriman, and Dan Parisi had a Zoom meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers to discuss the Shunpike Road issue, the flooding, if you will, or ponding, whatever you want to call it. Cardinal Engineering was present as well, and they'll be filing an application on our behalf. The guy from the Army Corps seemed pretty accommodating. I think he's going to do his part to try and push it along and help us through the permitting process, make it as smooth as possible. But there is, a deep aspect of it as well. So, but nonetheless, we've got things in motion, and hopefully there'll be some updates coming relatively soon on that as well.
Yeah, because I was just back there yesterday, as a matter of fact, and even our sewer caps are almost underwater again.
Yeah.
And it's gotten even bigger.
If
It's actually encroached onto the development property that's been talked about, but I don't know what their wetlands permit is all about, but I mean.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. With any luck, if they declare it a maintenance issue, and it may expedite it and make it a little less painful for us, but it's in its early stages, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but the guy seemed pretty helpful. He seemed pretty accommodating. He said he's always available if we have questions along the way. So I'm hopeful that he'll do his end, his part on his end for the Army Corps, and then we'll engage with the DEEP when it's time as well.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Lou? Lou, I have two. Rose Garden and Pollinator Pathway, any movement on either?
So I'm going to reach out to, was it Michelle that you got? Yeah. She had indicated when the weather broke, she was going to get down there and put stuff together, and I just got back from vacation myself last Thursday, so now that I'm kind of digging out of a hole of about 619 emails or so, I'll reach out to her, and what we had discussed when she came into my office was that she would throw some options at us sometime in April, and we know the optimal planting time frame would be second, third week of May, shortly before Memorial Day if possible. So we'll still keep that as a goal, and hopefully we're able to fulfill that commitment.
Great, thank you.
The goal is to have the Rose Garden at least looking for.
That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you, Lou. Any other questions? Alrighty, Lou, thank you.
All right, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Well, there is no unfinished business, so we will now move to item P. We have 3 items for consideration. One is health standard, one is building, and one is solicitation. So we'll start with, Maura has been here all night. We'll start with her and the health
related changes that she's seeking.
And I just would like to report that the PH has approved my request to make more our director.
Congratulations. I want to just let you know that, you know, people talk to me and they say outstanding things about you. And I know that it's one thing to, you know, sometimes people may say it to your face, but I mean, people are saying unanimously, oh, we love your new health director. She's fantastic. I don't correct them and say, well, technically she was on, but you know, now I can say, yes, she is fantastic. You've done an outstanding job. The feedback from everyone, from the fire marshals to the business owners, everybody is so outstanding. And I just want to let folks know that, you know, when Mattabassett, for example, was doing its outflow, they have to that we've asked that they notify me and the health director and the town manager, and she did a little pushing to say, well, how did you treat that water? How many gallons was it? Because they just say there's been an overflow event. You know, she goes above and beyond, and it's really appreciated. So I just want to say thank you for all the work that you are doing to make our town a better place. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I am sure in that situation, you all know about the WPCA. I also spent 10 years on my local WPCA, and we had I&I issues. So everything that they were talking about, I knew exactly what he was talking about. But I wanted to make it very clear to pull that information out for you. Yeah. So I will be honest with you. I have, in my past, I've never really worked with a municipality where I've had to change the codes in the charter. I did it on the local health district, and it was very easy. So what has happened in the past year is that I've been, you know, doing work and going in and reading these codes, trying to clarify what my role is. And there's been sometimes it's a little choppy. So I did sit down with Tony, the town manager, and asked if I could do this. So I put together all my recommendations and my changes. I know that you have in your packet what I sent to Tony. I don't know if you want to ask me questions about some of it. If you want me, I know it's getting late, if you want me to go over all of them, or there is a few of them that I would recommend repealing. One is the landlord registration, which we don't really have a purpose for anymore. I think that was more, before computers, before we can access. Years ago, you couldn't figure out who LLCs were. So that would have really helped, but now all that is at our fingertips. So we really haven't been doing it, so I don't want to foresee that it's really needed. The other big one is the sanitation chapter from 189. If you all really want to have a little giggle, you can read it. It really puts the health official, it's very antiquated, some things that we probably did back in 1920, managing diseases. So most of those from that chapter have been incorporated into the other chapters and brought up to code. Basically, a lot of these changes and recommendations, one, we're just bringing it more up to code, making it general neutral, because there was a lot of he's and I'm a she. So it just was cleaning it up. The other thing that was important was making some clarifications, especially when it came to the farmers market and temporary events, because that was a really unclear area. It did include also changing fee schedules. I did this past year working with Scott at the farmers market, and I lowered, believe it or not, I did lower fees on certain items, hoping to attract more businesses to come to those events to help support. So it was a give and take. When I was looking at the fees, I did a fee study around our neighboring, both the district and non. But I also was looking at that our codes have really changed over the last couple of years. I am asking for a change in how we pay what's called a Class 4 restaurant, which is our highest risk vulnerable populations. And we spend a lot of time in these because they are they are the population that we are most concerned with. And those are the people, especially at the nursing homes, where we are in there 4 times a year. And if I'm there for 2-3 hours, that's low. I'm really sitting there looking at all their processes. So when I did the fee schedules, I was really looking at like what my time is, trying to give it a balance. So I'm not sure what the next step is with these recommendations.
They have to be approved by you so that we can.
Okay, because their ordinance changes,
Correct, and then after we would have a meeting, and then you would adopt them or not based on the.
public feedback.
Public hearing?
Okay.
Yes.
Are there any questions for the health director on any of the proposed changes?
I would make a motion, we approve 1 through 3.
I still had a question.
So there, we can do so just 1 through 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can still have a discussion. Go ahead.
All right, and first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I had a question on number 1, chapter 137, food establishments. The second dot down, it says including sponsorship application for temporary events
Yes.
longer than 3 days. What's the thinking behind that?
Okay, so last year, if you remember, I came on right before the golf tournament. And my experience was that I wasn't getting a lot of information. I didn't know who was coming, and it had been an annual thing happening. Everybody knows what to expect, except me. So I did a lot of research on this, speaking to other health departments that actually managed this. And what they suggested is this sponsorship application. And basically, it's an application that goes to like travelers or someone that is holding the big event so that they can tell me what food people I should be expecting. So I can have an account versus if I don't know, I'm just getting pieces of paper and I'm going out there and I'm trying to figure it all out. So, and it also gives me that connection with that top person. So for instance, today we sat down with the Memorial Day Car Show. I shared that my sample sponsorship, and it's very easy. It's like, hey, give me your name, who is your contact information, and here are all the people that we are inviting. So it just is accountability for me.
Okay, it sounds good to me. Thank you for explaining.
Yep.
Just one quick follow-up on that.
No, that's okay.
So, would this just be food establishments serving food at these events, or is it, because say a food, say Texas, I don't want to name anyone, but say a restaurant is a sponsor, but they're not serving food there, they're just donating money or
These
labor
are
or something.
only for big events. So it's your Riverport Festival, it's your PGA, it's your, farmer's market. It isn't for these little tiny things. It's just really to give me the information of who you are inviting to provide food to the public at those events.
Right. So it's someone who's providing food, not necessarily just donating money or labor or something.
No, it has only to do with who's going to get a food license from me.
Okay, that wasn't, now I understand.
Okay,
Gotcha.
sorry.
Other questions from anybody?
Why don't you give them a little overview of why you want to address the fees?
Oh, well, a couple of things. What happened is that when I was doing, I'll start with the PGA. Sorry, it's a very big process in town. I am there, not only I'm spending a lot of time in the planning process. I was at this morning's meeting over down there just talking about safety and public health situations. But I'm there every single day from the morning to night. I'm inspecting because it is that big of an event, if you all know that. The way that our permits are set up right now, they only pay $50 for the whole event from the health department to the health department for all the work that I do. So that was one of the first things that I said, and that was why I started reaching out to other health departments who do very similar, and they're like, oh, no, no, no. And so I've changed that and made it more clear about the sponsorship, but also made the temporary events put more clarity in there, that it's by tent and grilling area. It's not a whole function. So, you know, it will hopefully cover some of the costs that are associated with me and not having it fall onto you, the taxpayers.
If I may just, you know, some of these events, and I don't want to single out one vendor or another, if our people are not doing their due diligence and we have an incident, it's going to look bad for that event as well as the town of Cromwell. And that's why Maura really went through all our health codes, including the fees. And, you know, I understand she's, you know, like last year out there putting the time and effort in. And it should be reflected in the permits that we are issuing. We don't want an incident, and we don't want to have a situation that's going to look bad on the town of Cromwell.
Of course.
Yeah.
I had a couple, Jamin, do you have more?
No, good, go ahead.
Okay, I just had a question about the food trucks going up. Is that based off of like the, like I see it says like, are these all, I mean, I guess daycare and long-term care facilities are not food trucks, but like,
No.
what does class 1, class 2, class 3 mean?
Oh, okay. So that is state code.
Okay.
Every food establishment is given a class, you have to be a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that is based on your risk of food illnesses. So a class 4 is someplace that is serving a very vulnerable population where that's why it's going to require you more going out and more inspections to really watch the processes to make sure that it is safe. The food trucks, I tried to clear up because technically they're called an itinerant vendor. They are basically a restaurant on wheels. The $200, what we did right now they go by what cost by class. And so our class can go anywhere from $150 to $300, depending on whatever their food item is. So if they're a class 3 and the fee is $350, they're paying $350. So I tried to get it on an even scale because the food trucks are really funny. They're very picky. They don't want to pay a lot of money. And so I was trying to find something that was a happy medium. And so I said, well, $200, that will include also to give you a license all year long. So it's not like you have to take out multiple. You get it covered for all events. So if they want to go to the Memorial Day, they don't have to pay again. And it also includes their plan review costs of me reviewing their plan. So I thought it was a better deal for them to bring more in. Because if I start using the fee schedule that we have right now, their fees were going way up. I was
Okay.
having to charge them for plan review. I was having to charge them for this. I wanted to get them in on a lower, really like a nice, easy bundle.
Got it. And then I see that you have like temporary, so could a food truck apply for a temporary license if they're here for one day?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, those were my questions. Sorry, back to you, Jamie. I know you had more, so I interrupted you.
Oh, no, please, go.
Okay. Other council members, Paula, Brian, Al?
Are all of these fees strictly event-related? Or are these also, are you addressing the fees for
I went through-
in-town restaurants and,
Yes.
and so food licenses and
Yes,
the whole 9 yards?
everything.
Because I don't, where,
So the way that the code is that throughout the code, it states where the fees are. I don't have like a fee schedule page. Go find the hotel's fees, you have to look in housing, to look in to see the hair salons or the nail salons. You have to go look into the code. So the sheets that you're looking at were from my study, so I could make it easier for you to read and understand.
Well, I own a restaurant in town. I'm just wondering, I mean, I know what I pay now. What are we proposing that my new fee is going to be?
Okay, so if you look at this page right here,
Mm-hmm.
our class 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, I have a column right there that says current.
Oh, okay. See, that was, I thought it was I thought that was a food truck listing.
No, the food
Okay.
trucks, if you look on the, right here,
Mobile food trucks.
would say mobile food trucks, and they're currently 200, and they would be staying 200.
Okay. I guess my question is, what is the reasoning behind going, is it a staffing issue? Is it a cost issue? I mean, these are
It's-
some pretty significant
Yeah.
increases.
Right, and so what I tried to explain was that when you go up to a class, you're probably, I have not been in your establishment, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But if you're a class 3 and 4, you're seeing us 3 to 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in there, we should be in there for a good hour, 2 hours, especially the class 4s, we're in there for quite a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
And the current costs, we're not covering my costs.
Was it a staffing issue?
Well, no, it's just trying to cover my costs so it's not a burden so much on the taxpayers. making
No,
up for
understandable.
this.
From my perspective, and I'm sure Jamie can probably say the same thing, I mean, I just paid $78 for a case of tomatoes, that I used to pay $34 for, a week and a half ago. The fees, the industry for small restaurants is, the profit margin is absolutely in the tank right now. Adding all these extra fees, and it's not just, it's not just this fee, everybody's got their hand in their pocket.
I
That's
I
my
hear you.
concern, is it, just like the taxes with farmers, is it the right avenue? Is it the right people to be putting their hand in the pocket at
Right.
this point?
Well, I can tell you that the fees have not gone up or haven't been touched in over 15 years.
If I may, Mr. Mayor. Sure. And how did you compare this to other municipalities?
Yes, that's in your packet as well. Should be in your packet. So what I did is I looked at all the area. So I looked at us, I looked at Central Connecticut Health District, which is Rocky Hill, I looked at Chatham, but I also looked at Glastonbury, because that's a municipality, and Middletown, that's a municipality, just to see where we were in relationship to them. And let's see, where's class 1s? Hold on. One more page. Is there a page missing? What was that?
If the space is blank, does that mean we don't charge for that?
Correct.
Okay.
Every health department is very different. And so I've just been trying to, we spend a lot of time, primarily our environmental health program is just all basically food. We are spending a lot of time out there, and so I was just trying to bring us up to speed, and up to, no one's looked at this in 15 years. Let's just see what everybody else is doing. I don't have the one in here for food. I'm very sorry. I didn't copy it. And I don't have it with me. I thought I had it. So I can't do a comparison. But I know that I looked at them and I thought that we were within reason. Some places are extremely high and some places aren't. Soil testing, we were very cheap. And so trying to justify my amount of time in going out there, doing the soil testing, getting all the paperwork ready, doing all my time was really what drove me to do this.
What would be, when you, withdrawn, let me ask that another way. Your hourly rate, not necessarily your salary, but what are you using as your benchmark to say
I
like
was
an hour?
using my hourly.
Okay.
do you feel comfortable sharing a ballpark of what that is? You don't have to say the exact number. If you want to round up or down, I'm gonna cover my ears, but like, you know, what are we using as our
About that
benchmark?
much.
About that.
It was around 50.
Okay, that's helpful. So I guess the way to think about it is like a class 4, which is the most difficult one, is 375. So you're saying that you spend 5 to 6 to 7 hours over the course of easy reviewing those. Okay. And then what is a class 3 versus a class 2 versus a class broadly?
Broadly, class 1s are your lowest. Those are your ones that are mostly prepackaged.
Okay.
Low risk. Your class 2s are classes that are actually making the food and giving the food right out.
Okay.
Your class 3s are the food establishments that are making their food, but then they cool their food so that they can reuse it. So every time that you go through that cooling process, you're increasing the risk.
Okay, I understand. So, and then my other question was, I see pools, seasonal and year-round.
Yep.
Right now it's 100. We're looking to double and then triple it for year-round. God bless anyone who has a year-round pool in this climate, but,
We do. We do have them.
wow, that's impressive.
Don't forget,
Every hotel.
Every hotel, you're right.
The hotel, the
hotels.
gym.
Yep.
And
okay.
so we're
I'm
out
thinking like
there.
outside in someone's backyard, you know, they have a heated pool.
He's got one inside.
Really?
No.
Jamin. Okay.
Jacuzzi?
Here's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
hot
thinking.
tub, yes.
Here's what I'm thinking, and I don't know if folks agree or disagree with this. I think there's a lot of great changes in here. I hesitate with the restaurants specifically, not just because there's a member of the council that has a restaurant, but more so that restaurants have really tight margins. We want them to be successful. Oftentimes, these restaurants are donating money to town events, donating free food to town events, and you know, the $150 extra for a permit may be the difference between them being able to do that. I understand the need to have a scale. I understand the need to have, you know, be requisite with, you know, changing. It's been 15 years since they've been touched. I think maybe, you know, I think you went $25 more for a class 1. Maybe we can do, you know, $50 more for a class 2 and then only $100. I mean, I don't know what the rate ratio is, but maybe it's 25, 25, 25. So I don't know how other people feel about that. I just think the swing of 150, 100, and I think the swing of 100 and 150 is just a big swing. So I don't know how where people want to land on those, but I think maybe we could reduce those a little bit. I understand the need to modernize it, but I don't want to drive a margin to somebody who will go out of business or will have a hard time.
I have no problem, whatever your suggestions are. I was just trying to make it more equitable.
No,
But if you're
I
saying
appreciate
you want just 25, I will take whatever you would like me to do.
I don't know if the council has any strong feelings on it.
I mean, I applaud your effort in going in and doing all this analysis. And I'm of a very split opinion, and I'm also conflicted because I too also own a restaurant in town, actually soon to be several. It's hard, you know, you look at this and you go, well, you know, if you're a resident, you pay taxes and you got kids and you live in town, you drive on the roads and all this, but a business doesn't, you know, you're paying to exist in this town, and you also pay property tax and all the other taxes. So it's like, it feels kind of like I'm getting double dipped, you know, in a way. And I don't know if that's the right way to explain it, but that's how I look at it. And yes, the cost of doing business goes up, and you're trying to adjust for that here. So it's a question of what's fair, you know, and what's you know, what can the businesses handle? We want to stay attractive to businesses as well, you know. So it's a tough call, you know. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's what it's been going through my mind this whole time.
No, and you're absolutely right. You know, you pay your property taxes. You know, there's your fog fee, there's your food service fee, you know, there's your trash removal fees. I could give you a spreadsheet, and at the end of the day, you know, your profit margin is this on, you know, $1 million in sales. It's you know, it's pick and choose.
It's,
So if you'd like, I can just recommend just going up $25 in the class 1 through 4. I can keep it the same, class 4, and not split it.
well, the class, I mean, personally for me, I think the class fours make sense to go up because of their long-term care facilities, nursing homes. Like, I think that if you're gonna spend days there, that's different than a restaurant where you're gonna go by once or twice a year. I would feel I personally feel comfortable splitting it and with the recommendations for the class 4. For the class 1s, I'll let the body deliberate on what they wanna do, if they wanna keep those the same or go up $25 just to represent the hourly kind of time there or not, but I wouldn't recommend anything more than $25 more for those groups. I think if you're gonna change, I think anything beyond that becomes onerous. But I'll, again, leave it to the group to discuss.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So if folks are comfortable with the 25, then I think the only amendments that I would make, I would be comfortable accepting all of your recommendations. Just for the class 1, it'd be the 125, the class 2, it would be 175, and the class 3, it would be 225. And then the rest of your recommendations, I'm comfortable with.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay. Any other discussions on that? Okay, so Al, you made a motion earlier for 1 through 3. There are actually, you need 1 through 5, right? Sanitation, housing, landlord, health standards, and food establishment? Right?
That's what I would like, but
Yeah.
Mr. Waters.
So Al, you only made a motion for 1 through 3. Do you want to include bullets 4? She has food establishments, health standards, landlord registration, housing standards, and sanitation. Would you amend your motion to be 1 through 5 from her memo? Yes. So Al said that he would amend his motion to be 1 through 5 on the March 13th, 2026 memo. Is there a second on that? 1 through 5 from her March 13th, 2026 memo? Okay. And then, would you accept, Mr. Waters and Ms. Luna, a friendly amendment to reduce the Class 1 recommendation to 125, the Class 2 recommendation to 175, the Class 3 recommendation to 225?
Right, yeah,
Okay.
except the class 1 is at 125. We don't have to.
Oh, okay, so the recommendation would just be for Class 2 and Class 3 to only be a $25 increase?
Yes.
Okay. Would you accept that friendly amendment?
Yes.
Okay, so there's been a motion to accept the proposals 1 through 5 outlined in the March 13th, 2026 memo with the amendment for the Class 2 and Class 3. Any further discussion on that? Hearing.
How does,
Yep, go
how
ahead.
does this also affect other things that you inspect, like, I don't know, hair salons and tattoo parlors, and where is that in this, is that being figured here?
Yeah, that's right on there as well.
Where are the fees for the hair salons? I didn't see that.
I thought I saw them under salon.
Yeah, salon. Oh, that doesn't.
I saw it in the study, but I didn't see it in the
Oh, maybe you're right.
fee schedule. So there's no changes in the fee schedule for salons?
Salons was changed from, it's up at the very top, I'm sorry, it's dark green. At the very top.
Oh,
it's
body
called
care?
Body care. We had to change the name to be more with what all they are doing, because we are not just doing hair anymore. We're doing nails and tattooing and all the other lovely stuff that we do.
Oh, that's a $15 proposal.
Yeah, it went from 85 to 100.
Okay. I think that's fair for them. Again, if they have really big issues, we'll make sure to advertise the public hearing and they can come to the public hearing too.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, thanks again for answering my question.
No
Yes.
problem. Can I tell you my fun fact? Oh, wait, you have to vote first.
Yeah. So a motion's been made, seconded. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving these amendments, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Fun fact.
Fun fact, okay, so the town manager knows this. I recently realized and became notified that my 9th great-grandfather was Nathaniel White.
Oh.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
So, I do come from Cromwell.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
So-
do.
So,
Wow.
it's great.
We're on his land right
Yeah.
Yes.
Did Mr. Donahue ever get a hold of you?
I sent him something and I haven't heard
This
back
is,
from him.
is this the Nathaniel White building?
I don't
Yeah,
know what's the matter
that's
with
so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
So
My
we're in your
great-great-great-
building, really?
My great-great-grandfather gave the land and the money to the town to build this.
Wow.
To build the school.
Are you our
So-
landlord now?
Okay. We got rid of that ordinance.
Fair enough.
I don't want to take up any more of your time, but
Thank
thank
you.
you, everybody.
Thank you for all your work. Now moving on to Johnny Egan's proposals. Mr. Egan has proposals in your packet in a memo dated March 31st, 2026. Mr. Town Manager, what's going on in this packet?
If you see John's suggestions in his memo, where the fee right now is $20 for 1,000, the first 1,000. He's proposing that we go to $60 for the first 3,000 in estimated construction cost. And he gives you his reason. The reason for the increase is due to the administrative plan review, inspection, closeout duties associated with each permit issued. Typically, a base flat fee is established by most municipalities, and then additional fees added for projects exceeding the base flat fee cap. In this case, the proposed cap is 3,000.
So, I'm a Luddite and I live in a condo, so I've never built anything. I barely can paint my wall successfully. I bought the reflective, apparently with paint, if you don't buy it flat, I found this out. I was trying to paint my kitchen, everything is shiny now, so I have to repaint it. What are these permits for? Is this like a building permit, like I'm building a shed, or I'm building a new construction, or I'm, redoing my driveway? Like, what does this permit fee apply to?
It's
Math, that's the word I was looking
new construction. It's similar to what Mr. Hanahan here, he had to pull permits to rebuild his house. A shed, yeah, I can speak to that. I put a shed on my property, and I had to pay fees for the shed. Anything over 200 square feet with the sheds, you have to pay a fee. So if you go to 99-2, that's fees, and that explains residential construction, detached, one detached, et cetera.
And so when he says it's capped, is this based off of square footage? Like what does that mean? It's capped at 3,000? Because if it's $60 for the first 3,000 or a fraction thereof, like explain to me how that ratio works. Like what is being assessed and how does it get to 3,000 if it's 60 for the first 3,000? So if I'm building a $300,000 house, it would be up to $3,000 with the fees?
No, it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
so if, you're building, if you're building, an addition that costs, let's say you're adding a one-car garage, and it's gonna cost you about $40,000, it would be, $60 for the first $3,000 of the, estimate, and then, excuse me again, and then, the estimated construction cost or a fraction thereof. And, then you come over here, and it would be, let's see, so, I think it's 60,000 for each 3,000. Excuse me, $60 for each 3,000.
Up to the cap of 3,000. So the most that they could ever get charged is $3,000.
Yes.
Got it.
I was gonna say,
That's-
100 Berlin Road's gonna bring us some great money. I was doing the math in my head.
That's the way I am.
So,
So that's a 300% increase technically of the amount that we could, oh, there is no cap, oh, there is still a cap. Right now, there is a $3,000 cap. Right, I'm looking to see, because the reason exceeding the base flat fee cap in this case is proposed $3,000 cap. Is there currently a cap?
I don't believe there is.
Okay, so the exchange that we're doing here is, right now it's $20 for the first 1,000, and then it can keep going up and there is no cap. What he's proposing is a higher fee, but a cap would be applied.
A $3,000 cap.
Okay,
How could there be no cap?
so right now there's no cap, so I mean,
If you're building $1 million whatever, there's no cap on, so for every $1,000, you're paying 20 in fees?
I think that's the way it is.
We should
Yeah.
have a lot of revenue somewhere.
According to- And if I'm wrong, at the public hearing, I'll have Mr. Egan there. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight, to better explain, but at least that's the way I interpret it. Fortunately, I know what I paid for my shed.
just a little confused about the increase, and I understand there's administrative costs, but if it's $20 for the first 1,000, but there's no cap, I guess I kinda wanna know, like, what revenue are we generating from that? How many applications are we getting in? And then if it needs to change, like, the maximum, like, how often are people hitting $3,000? Is it actually gonna be a savings for people who are building big projects, or is this, I'm just trying to think, if we're gonna increase it by 300%, I think we need to have a good reason for doing so and have an understanding of the impact it's gonna have on.
Do we table this?
Yeah, I'd like to table this too, because I think there's data missing.
No, if you go out into the ordinance, on the third page of the ordinance, he's got an asterisk by it, and it says the standard fee for all permits, $20 for the first 1,000, and estimated construction costs or a fraction thereof.
So there is no, it doesn't look like there's a cap right now.
Yeah. But again,
Is that implying then, Tony, that it's 20,000, it's $20 for every 1,000 after that?
I think that's the way I interpret it right now, but,
And we're gonna cap it
And
at
I
3?
can't help you, cause I can't
That doesn't make
remember.
sense.
yeah. But if,
I think it needs more time to bake, because Brian just brought up an example. So if it's $1 million project, let's say it's $1 million project, that's $20,000 worth of fees. Now we're capping it at 3,000. That's what I think the language would read as.
okay.
So I think we need to have it baked a little bit.
Either, that, or you can go ahead and then we'll have it ready for the,
I would rather wait before we go to a public hearing on it. I know it's gonna make us have to pay for advertising more than once, but I'd rather do it right.
okay.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
I
Does anyone-
would agree with that.
Okay. Do we have a motion to table this one?
I make a motion, we table.
Second.
Okay, made by Al, seconded by Jamin. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Okay, next, we have a request from the Community Events Committee regarding their vendor fees. Right now,
We fix that one?
right now, we have a waiver that we passed as for the farmer's market, and they're looking to have a duplicate version of it that allows for them, for town-approved festival or special event, to have the similar waiver. The issue they're having is they're charging the vendors a vendor fee, and then the vendors are having to apply to the town for the health permits and all the other permits that there's like, not a permit, I'm sorry, not health permit, the sales permit from the police department is another $50, and so the vendors are sitting there going, you know, I'm gonna be there for one day, and there's $150 worth of fees, and, you know, I have to sell, I don't know how many XYZ products to get there, it's not even worth it, so they're trying to amend it. They are charging $100 a vendor, and so the way, when we talked with them, the way we kind of rationalized it is, okay, if they're charging $100 a vendor, that comes back to the town just in a different account for them If they were charging $50 a vendor, then paying the town $50, it's the same amount of money, it's just in a different place. And I think it makes sense that if we're gonna have town of festivals or special events, that we may wanna have the flexibility to allow vendors to have a little bit more freedom. And so they came to us with a proposal. I think we tweaked it a little bit, right, Amanda? This was tweaked, right? We tweaked this a little bit from what they proposed, or is this verbatim what they proposed?
No, this is what they proposed.
Okay.
Well, I made some changes to like the section numbers to make it match with the ordinance, but nothing to the content.
Yeah, yeah, so this is what they proposed. I don't have a problem with it. Did Carrie look at it? Did she have a problem with it?
No, we haven't said anything.
Okay.
Usually after this, we make it and send it to her.
Yeah, so they would still have to pay, they would still have to, do any health district food service stuff if they have food. But, otherwise, it allows us to, waive, or it waives the fees if they're a vendor at a town-approved festival, fair, or special event. So I don't know if anyone has any comments on it.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, if it's gonna attract, you know, more people more vendors to the events and help things move along, you know, in a smoother fashion and a more attractive fashion for vendors.
Yeah, I agree. Any further discussion on it? Jamie?
In part C, it says all vendors participating in such events must be, you know, the usual kinds of stuff. How do we verify that? Are we gonna check, or is it just sort of?
So they have to be organized with the event organizer or the town. So if it's I'll use Riverport as an example. They would register with the Community Events Committee, and that's the town committee, and so that's where they would register. If it was the Memorial Day Parade, or the Holiday on Main, or something like that, they would register with Recreation or whatever department, and then in compliance with other state, federal, local laws, ordinances, public health, fire, safety. So they would still have to follow all of those things. We're just saying that they don't have to pay us. Right now, they have to pay like a sales fee to be able to sell in town. We're waiving that fee for them.
I think they still have to submit, like,
They still have to submit
food
something.
service license to the health department and,
Yeah.
and serve safe certificates
Okay,
and
great.
et cetera.
Well, no, I've run into things where, say, even between different towns, they'll have different policies about, oh, you can't vacuum seal that, you need to do it with.
That will still all
steel
apply.
pan or whatever.
That
Okay.
will still all apply. This is only for the peddler or solicitor license fees, because you need a license to sell something.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll accept a motion on it.
A motion?
Made by Brian,
Second.
second by Jamin. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next is item Q. I'll accept a motion for Q 1 through 5 to approve the minutes.
Motion?
Made by Brian, second by Al. Any further discussion on that? Oh, go ahead.
I wasn't here for the March 11th special meeting. Can I abstain?
Yeah,
And then, there might be a mistake in the March 4th, 2026 special meeting.
let's fix it.
I could be wrong, but it shows you as arriving after the meeting started, but you started it.
I noticed that too.
So unless you got like a time machine or something, I don't know.
I think I did arrive late to that.
Didn't you start the meeting?
Yeah, I was in the hallway. I was stuck on a call.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but
the meeting you
that
sat
was a
in that
different
started the meeting.
Oh, was that a different meeting? Which one was I on the call for? It's also on the March 4th minutes as the same way.
Oh, okay.
So I think the March 4th,
We'll just strike that arrived at 4:45.
James,
Mhm.
it says that you arrived, okay, on Wednesday, March 4th at 4:30, you arrived at 4:40, but down letter A, it says you called the meeting.
so the March 4th one is the one that's wrong.
So we'll strike the arrived at 4:40. I just saved it as a new document.
Yeah, on the March 4th one, we need to strike 4:40. On the Tuesday one, that was Lou's presentation. I missed the first department in Lou's presentation, because I was still on a Zoom.
So you're saying you don't have a time machine?
I do not have a time machine. My Wayback Machine is still not functioning. Peabody and Sherman still have it. So, the Tuesday, March 3rd is right. The Wednesday, March 4th needs to be amended to remove the arrived at 4:40. So,
will you guys withdraw your motions? So we can do a motion to amend? Okay, great. Can we now have a motion to amend the Wednesday, March 4th, 2026 meeting to remove arrived at 4:40 PM?
So moved.
Made by Brian, second by Jamin. Any further discussion on that amendment? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Now I'll accept a motion to approve items Q 1 through 5 as amended. Made by Brian, seconded by Paula. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, one abstention for the one meeting you weren't present for. Cool. Next, R1 appointments, Matt Blanchett, Community Events Committee as an alternate member for a term expiring 4/1/29. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Made by Al, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Matt, congratulations if you're listening. Matt has already hit the ground running, literally planning a 5K. So he's a great asset to that committee. Resignation, Victor Harpley, Public Assets Committee.
With regrets.
With regrets, made by Al, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay, under informational items, I did have a question for the council. Somebody on Facebook asked why we only have 2 minutes for public comments. Asked if we can extend them. Is there any appetite in a future meeting to revisiting our amount of time for public comments, or does the council believe 2 minutes is sufficient?
In the past, we've always had it 2 minutes, because otherwise, if there's more people that want to have a comment, we're making our meeting much longer.
Yeah, but they deserve to have their voice thoroughly heard, I mean,
Well-
within reason.
For 2 minutes, I think they get the point across
Well, in
pretty
the-
good.
So my question is just, does the council want me to put it on a future agenda to talk about amending that rule to be longer?
I would.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know that we've ever cut anybody off in the
Never have.
time that I've sat here and,
Nope.
you know, kinda
Yeah, sometimes I do.
depends on what he wants to hear.
If you get,
No,
if you get bored.
gosh, yeah. Yeah, so, okay, why don't we do this? So, with that consensus, I'll put it on the next agenda for us to revisit that rule. If we want to make any amendments to it, we can.
Sometimes you have a more complicated or
Mm-hmm.
nuanced state position, or you wanna back it up with something. It's hard to do, or otherwise you're talking really fast and no one can understand, you know, so it's.
Yeah. I think that's fair. So we will have it at our next meeting for a discussion. Any other informational items?
Special meeting.
Yes, okay, great, thank you for reminding me. So we need to have a special meeting before our April meeting to discuss the town manager's contract. Under his contract, he has until 3 months prior to the expiration of his contract to consider for us to make a decision on the consideration of his extension of his contract. That would bring us into May, but I'd like to have us have the meeting a little earlier so we can give him direction on what the council wants to do. So I would like to know what folks' availabilities are later in the month, and then the town manager will indicate to me whether he wants that meeting to be an executive or public session before the notice goes out. April, if there's availability for folks to meet with us on April.
Give us some dates.
What are folks?
Not now, I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta look at the calendars.
yeah, Amanda, do you want to circulate an email with some date options that everyone's available? Okay. Okay, no, that's fair.
Me neither.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's all I got. Anybody else, informational items?
Take the 2 minutes off.
Anything else? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion
Moved.
adjourned.
Give it to Al, and then second by Jamin. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. We are adjourned.